Before the season started, the Grizzlies had their sights set on Chattanooga and the national championship. After winning 12 games in a row, they are one hurdle away from the promised land. For the seniors, it's their last game at home, and they want to go out on top. Welcome to Washington Grizzlies Stadium in Missoula, Montana for the Division I 2A semifinal matchup between the 13th-seeded Appalachian State Mountaineers and the top seed, the Montana Grizzlies. Hello, I'm Grayson Davis for Montana's news station, joined by Bob Hermes. And Bob, these teams are so close to the championship they can almost feel the trophy in their hands, but first they have to battle each other and the snow. Now, last week, Grizz quarterback Drew Miller reestablished himself as one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. Key for the Grizzlies is making sure he has protection.
I think that's true. Drew came into his own again after having some injuries in previous weeks and just looked great. I think the offensive front for Montana is going to be the key. And Appalachian State has some good rush guys. I know Chad Germer, the offensive line coach, was concerned about that. And number 58, Josh Jeffries, this at defensive end is real talented, real strong. He can run, and he's going to be teamed up against John Skinner for the Grizzlies. And Skinner's a big freshman, 310-pounder Montana kid, and he knows how to play, but he's only a freshman. So I think if you're a defensive coach, you're going to look at that matchup and say, hey, you got to go get him, and you got to go over John. So it's going to be a good test. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, that's right. If Drew Miller has time and he can find Jimmy Ferris, it's going to be a long day for the Mountaineers. Should be a great game. We're excited to bring it to you. When we come back, we will have the starting lineup, so stay tuned.
Cast of this NCAA Division I AA semifinal football playoff game is brought to you by Montana-owned and operated Town Pump Food Stores, where you can save 3% on all fuel purchases using Exxon MasterCard. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Montana, 700 employees working to help solve Montana's healthcare issues. Cellular One, we tell it like it is, so let's talk. CarQuest, you'll find it at CarQuest. And PPL Montana, generating power for Montana and the West.
Welcome back to Missoula, Montana. We are just about ready for the opening kickoff here between the Grizzlies and the Mountaineers. But first, let's go down to the field and Tom Morellis. Tom, what have you got for us?
Well, guys, game time temperature is 32 degrees, and as you can obviously see, the snow has begun to fall here at Washington Grizzlies Stadium. Now, unlike the previous two playoff games played here, the field should play a factor in how this game turns out. Now we'll send it back up to you guys.
Okay, you take a look. As you can see, the snow is coming down here in Montana. Temperature 32 degrees, but the winds are calm, and that is perhaps the biggest factor or non-factor, depending on how you look at it. It's good news for the Grizzlies. No problem throwing in the snow. It's hard to throw in the wind.
Yeah, and with the stadium located at the mouth of the Hellgate Canyon, it could get awfully windy and blustery in this stadium and in this little corridor here, but it looks like it's going to be calm for the most part. I noticed the Mountaineers, they're doing the toss now, have deferred to the second half, and Montana will probably take the kickoff. We'll see what they decide.
That is indeed the call, and if you're a Grizz fan and you are superstitious, this is good news because the Grizzlies have lost every coin toss in the playoffs. And they lose this one as well, so they will get the ball, and of course they're going to look to jump right on the Mountaineers with that high-powered offense. Drew Miller and Jimmy Ferris have been absolutely outstanding throughout the playoffs, but also keep in mind Johansi Humphrey, a great running back for the Grizzlies, who now take the field in front of a packed stadium. The fans, hey, snow isn't going to keep them away. They're looking forward to this, and they believe that their Grizzlies are going to be this year's national champion.
Well, the team's a little bit late getting onto the field. Usually Montana likes to come out, Joe Glenn likes his team to come out second after the visitors are on the field, and the visitors held out this time, and they're the last getting out of the tunnel.
Yeah, so already the psychological warfare taking place as the Mountaineers come out onto the field second. to a whole bunch of boos, and of course they will kick it off to the Grizzlies. And the Mountaineers, they certainly would like to be able to be effective running the ball today. They've become much more run-oriented the last few games. But they can mix in the pass a little bit, which is something the Grizzlies did not see last week, taking on Richmond, strictly an option running attack.
Yeah, the Mountaineers are definitely a balanced attack. They throw very well. They average about 190 yards a game and running the ball and throw for about 240, so they're very balanced. I know the Montana coaching staff a little bit concerned about all the weapons that they possess, but I think as we mentioned at the beginning, if Drew can have time and gets hot the way Jimmy Ferris and the other receivers have been reacting, they could have themselves a good game.
This is such a dynamic matchup because with Appalachian State, you've got the ultimate road warriors. They've already won 2 playoff games on the road, coming in to take on the ultimate home field advantage. I mean, this is one of the great atmospheres in all of college football, and it's hard to be a visitor, come into Washington Grizzly Stadium and try to steal a win.
Coach Glenn talked about last night at a function where both teams, or at least their coaching staffs and athletic directors, came to the meeting. He mentioned, as he was able to speak to the crowd, that this team they're playing today reminds him of the team that he coached at Northern Colorado in 1996. They won on the road. They weren't expected to be a top-seeded team, but they kept winning. And that's what happens is you get confidence, you start to peak at the right time, anything can happen. So this should be a dandy.
Eric Rockhold getting ready to kick it off for the Mountaineers. Back deep, Tanner Hancock and Atu Molden. This one's going to be taken by Hancock at his 5-yard line, looking for a block. He's got a little bit of a crease, gets tripped up, or he would have gone a long way, but he makes his way down to the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Grizz offense. Drew Miller, of course, the great quarterback. Humphrey behind him. Oakers, Ferris, Hancock, and Molden, one of the best receiving corps in the country. John Skinner, Zalay, Thusen Thorson, and Kamakana Kamaloa. Solid offensive line for the Grizzlies. As Drew Miller and the offense make their way out onto the field. Drew had an absolutely outstanding game last week against Richmond, throwing for over 380 yards. They'll look to do it again. 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies at their own 25-yard line. Miller back to throw. Has some time. Going for the corner. Misfires. Overthrows Atu Molden. Falls incomplete. Taking a look at the Appalachian State defense. Freeman, Sowell, Watson, and Jeffries, both defensive ends. Good pass rushers and their linebackers. Severance, Best, and Hunter. The defensive backfield, Corey Hall, the All-American. He'll be lined up against Jimmy Ferris. And the rest of the defensive backs, very, very active. All good, solid tacklers. They're used to playing in the Southern Conference where you have to take on a lot of very good running attacks. 2nd down and 10 now for the Grizzlies. Miller hands it off to Johansi Humphrey, looking for a block, but he slips, goes down about a yard short of the line of scrimmage, and the field already becoming a factor.
Montana testing their running game there on the second play, trying to pick up it. This play is designed to get them 4 or 5. It gets 0 basically, as the defense is able to come up and play real well against the run.
Johansi Humphrey unable to keep his footing. So that's already become a factor. So now the Grizzlies go to a 4 wide receiver set on 3rd down and 10. Miller back to throw. Has good time, good protection. Fires over the middle. Has his man Jimmy Ferris, who is out to the 45-yard line. A gain of 20 on the play.
That was a real heads-up call and move there by Drew Miller. He took about a 5-7 step drop. He looked deep for a minute there and set up, and Jimmy came underneath, and Drew realized he had a 1st down if he connected with him, and he did in a nice throw.
So already Jimmy Ferris a factor in this ball game, making his way out to the 45-yard line. Taken down by number 4 for Appalachian State, Remy Owolowo. 1st down and 10 now for the Grizzlies at their own 45-yard line. Miller back to throw, fires, has TJ Oakers, has his man. That's going to be good for another 1st down as the Grizzlies move into Mountaineer territory.
Well, we talked about pass protection, and they're getting their chance to prove themselves early. Quick drop, and they're basically rushing 4 defensive linemen. plenty of time for Drew to make it work. Chad Germer again had mentioned just before kickoff that his guys are going to stay very aggressive up front, and I asked him what he meant by that. He said, well, we're going to come after the linemen. We're not just going to sit and wait for them to come to us.
3 wide receivers now to the top of your screen. Miller back to throw, quick drop, finds Atu Molden, looking to break a tackle, unable to do so, but still a gain of 5 on the play.
I like this call, Grayson. It's a real quick opener, high percentage. Percentage of interception is pretty low, and Drew just a one-step drop, basically get in the pocket and throw it over on the sideline, play catch.
You can see the players are having a hard time planting. Unable to make a big move there. Taken out by number 9, Deshaun Martin.
You know, it's going to be tough to run, and I think the pass will help if they can establish that, and they are. 2nd
down and 4 for the Grizzlies. Miller back to throw. Little play action. He's going deep for Jimmy Ferris. Great play made there by number 24, Corey Hall, the All-American.
Yeah, that was excellent defense. You got to give them just tons of credit. They had inside-out coverage. They're kind of looking for, anytime Ferris is going deep, they're going to be covered. Wonderful coverage here.
Yeah, Miller's pass was a pretty good one because there was coverage, but it was thrown deep enough to where an interception was not a possibility. So they go for the big one there on 2nd down, so now it brings up 3rd down and 4 for the Grizzlies on their first drive of the game. Miller back to throw, good protection, fires, but it is picked off. Intercepted by number 9, Deshaun Martin, and the Mountaineers come up big.
That's a big turnover for the Mountaineers early. Drew that time threw it a little bit underneath or a little bit wide inside the field and not getting it outside where there's a little more protection, and great defensive play.
Atu Molden slipped down on the play. That certainly had something to do with it as they went out to him, but he slipped. Luckily able to make the tackle, or Martin was off to the races. So now the defense comes out on the field for the Grizzlies. So they run it. This is Jared Beard. He gets a good hole, gains about 6 yards on the play.
This is a good-looking play. A nice opener, too. Wayne Smith leading them out.
Taking a look at the Mountaineer offense, Burchett, Beard, Joseph Hoover, the fullback, Wilcox, Albia, and Slade. The wideouts, Young, Brock, Elkins, Patrick, and Smith. A big, very, very effective offensive line. You saw it there on the first play, opening the hole for Jerry Beard, which brings up a 2nd down and 3 now for the Mountaineers. Burchett, little option pass, throws it out deep, looking for his man, number 7, Daniel Wilcox, the tight end. He was not there. Tyler Martin put a big hit on Burchett. Taking a look at the Grizzly defense, Brannon, Murtis, Martin, and Pedic. Andy Pedic, over 20 sacks on the season. Great linebacking core, Dan DeCoit, Boomer, and Matt Steinow. The defensive backfield, they played great here in the playoffs. Calvin Coleman, Damon Parker, Trey Young, and Vince Huntsberger. As this now 3rd down and 3 for the Mountaineers, and the crowd is fired up, trying to help out their defense. Burchett hands it off to Beard, looking for room. He is going to be close to the 1st down, but I believe he's going to be about a half yard short.
Kind of go power this time, bring a tight end, pull a guard across, and just power on power that time.
He got a pretty good spot, so this is real close.
It looks short to me, Grayson, by about a half yard, but the official is going to make sure and check it out. Officials today are out of the Ohio Valley Conference. I think it's a good move by the referee to bring the chains in, even though I'm sure it's short.
Short by about a half yard. Good eyes there, Bob. Nice call. So the Mountaineers will have to punt, and the defense does their job early on, trying to get the ball back to the offense after the turnover. Very key, making sure that those turnovers don't turn into points for the other team.
Very big stand.
Nathan McKinney back to punt at his own 30-yard line. Back deep for the Grizzlies is TJ Oakers at his own 11. Bit of a line drive short. TJ Oakers makes a diving catch. Takes it out at the 22-yard line. Just too short for him to really get to it. So after the 35-yard punt, we're going to take a break. Scoreless tie in the first quarter. Welcome back. No score here at Washington Grizzlies Stadium as the Grizzlies come out for their second possession of the game. 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line. A little movement there by the defensive line early. They hand it off to Johansi Humphrey, makes his way out to the 30. There's a flag down on the play.
Now those defensive front look awfully strong for the Mountaineers. Jason Sowell, Ryan Watson, the nose tackle, Josh Jeffries we mentioned. They just look very solid up front, and they're eager, so Drew draws them off with a hard count. Probably decline this, Grayson.
Offsides on the defense. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
That's the beauty of getting the defensive jump. You can take the play or you can take the penalty, and of course they had more yards on the play.
Humphrey gains 8 yards. First big hole for him.
You know what? I think running him straight up and down is going to be a lot more effective than trying to sweep him today.
The snow really coming down hard now. 2nd down and 2. For the Grizzlies at their own 30-yard line. Miller back to throw. Quick drop, fires out to Jimmy Ferris. Takes it out to the 40-yard line. 1st down for the Grizzlies.
Mountaineers brought a lot of heat that time. They actually had about 8 guys on the line of scrimmage. They dropped a few on the snap, which was meant to fool Drew, and Drew just take the easy outlet pass and played catch here with Jim Ferris.
Corey Hall forcing him out of bounds. That's a matchup we're going to hear about all day today. Jimmy already 2 catches, 21 yards. Miller drops back, swings it out to Johansi Humphrey, who just slips down. He cannot get his footing.
Well, that's what I meant just a minute ago, swinging him outside. It's going to be tough to keep your footing on the corners because it looks to me to be a little bit frozen, a little bit soft. Watch here as he makes a beautiful catch. Then he tries to plant, and he just slides out from underneath him. You know what, the weather like it is, Grayson, I have a feeling the first team to score is going to have a big advantage.
Yeah, the wind is starting to blow a little bit now, coming out of the south. So 2nd down and 10 now for the Grizzlies. Miller back to throw. Swings it out to Jimmy Ferris. And you can tell even right there, he gets 5 yards, but he's doing everything he can just to keep his feet.
Yep, and it's snowing. It's going to get slicker as the day goes on. That's what I meant about trying to get some points early.
So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 5 now. As the Grizzly offense and some of the play calls going to have to adjust to the field conditions because it is getting slick out there on the field. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the bottom of your screen. Miller drops back, has time, rolls out, fires, has Tanner Hancock for a 1st down to the 45-yard line.
They're going to get a hold up front. The Mountaineers ran a twist with their defensive tackle and guards. They watch here, they can see him twist. That's the tackle coming underneath, and then they get a little hold on the corner. And it was close. I'm not sure there was a real hold there, but it was close enough. The officials called it. And you know what? If you're going to make those calls, you should do it early in the game and establish that for the players.
Yeah, boy, if they called Thatcher's delay, that's a very, very close call.
It was close, but the Mountaineers were talking about it.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Repeat 3rd down.
So the Grizzlies now are backed up quite a bit. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 15 as the field now just about going completely white.
Get your skis out.
The snow is really starting to blanket the field. 3rd down and 15. Miller back to throw. Has time, steps up, fires deep for TJ Oakers, who has it. He breaks the tackle. He is off to the races, down to the 10-yard line, taken down by Remy Owololo. And the Grizzlies are in great shape.
That was a wonderful play for Montana. You know, I think the conditions favor the passing team. The receivers know where they're going. The quarterback can see that, whereas the defense, you know, they're not sure if it's a post or a flag or if they're going to run a corner. So it does favor the throwing team, and a great catch here. And watch this. Bounces off a tackle and gets about 20 more.
Takes it down to the 10-yard line, so the Grizzlies are in business. Drew Miller asking the crowd to quiet down. Hands it off to Johansi Humphrey. Gets tripped down to at the 10-yard line. There's some movement, but I don't see a flag on the play. So it looks like that's going to bring up second down and goal. They cannot get a first down without getting into the end zone.
Montana looking to surprise them a little bit, running a draw in the red zone. Don't see a lot of draw in that area, but they did run it.
So second down and goal now from the 10-yard line. Miller hands it off to Johansi Humphrey, going up the middle, powers his way to the 3-yard line on a little draw play that time.
Well, I'll tell you, Grayson, you don't often run draw near the goal line, and you never run draw twice in a row, and that's, of course, why they did it. And that's pretty smart, because the defense is not looking for it. So credit to Coach Cockhill for doing something real unusual and actually helping his team out.
Yeah, Appalachian State so concerned with getting to Drew Miller, they're working their way up the field. That opens up the draw play. So third down and goal now from the 3-yard line. Miller back to throw, looking, fires for Atu Molden. He wants a flag. He's not going to get one. The fans don't like it, as he had Owolowo draped all over him. Good play, though, for the Mountaineers.
It was a close call. I'm not sure either if it was there. We'll see on this angle.
Well, hard to tell there. Chris Snyder now in for the field goal. Normally this would be just a given little chip shot, but with the field conditions. Ball is down, he gets it up and through. And the Grizzlies take the 3-0 lead, but the Mountaineers have to feel pretty good about themselves limiting the Grizzlies to just 3. And when we come back, the Mountaineers will get the ball back down by a score of 3-0. Welcome back. The snow started to let up just a little bit. Maybe good news for the Mountaineers as the Grizzlies take the lead 3-0. They're getting ready to kick off the scoring drive. 9 plays, 75 yards, took just over 4 minutes. Chris Snyder, the 20-yard field goal. The kick back deep as Jimmy Watkins, almost slipped down at his 1-yard line, but he takes it out for a great return out to the 40.
That's a big return. He did an excellent job to get upfield after he caught this. He slipped coming out, and then I thought he'd be lucky to get to the 10 or 15. Look at this. He goes all the way to the 40. Excellent job.
Yeah, the Mountaineer coaches, they're saying if we do have a game breaker, this is probably him, Jimmy Watkins. They'll put him pretty much anywhere. They'll spread him out to put him in the backfield, but he also is a very good return man. As he stays in the game, he is now the tailback for the Mountaineers, who come out in a 4-wide receiver set. But they hand it off to Watkins, looking for the corner. He gets it. Gain of 3, maybe 4 on the play.
He had the same situation that Johansi Humphrey had. Does a nice job to run the ball, but as soon as he gets to the corner, he takes himself out of the play because his footing just can't sustain itself. Matt
Steinow forcing him out of bounds, but he was slipping down. Gains 3 on the play, so it brings up 2nd down and 7 for the Mountaineers, still looking for their first down. And they now go to the shotgun, looking like the Grizzlies right here. 4 wide receivers. Burchett running the option, pitches it out to Jimmy Beard. He gets taken down by Vince Huntsberger after a gain of 2.
Huntsberger made a big play there, Grayson. It's not often you see option out of the gun. Usually out of the gun you're going to get a draw or a pass, usually pass, but he runs option. Nice call. Watch his tackle. Perfect.
Vince Huntsberger, not only just a great sure tackler, but he put a little boom in there on Jerry Beard's legs. Gain of 1 on the play, so it brings up 3rd down and 6 now for the Mountaineers. Watch for Andy Pedic, number 37. The top of the defensive line there for the Grizzlies, over 20 sacks this year. Burchett, quick drop back, has his receiver, Albia, and he's got enough for a 1st down.
He did a real nice job running his route, Grayson. He got up the field just past the 1st down sticks, and then he kind of sat down, and nice throw over to him. Wonderful catch.
Albie taken down there by Matt Steinow.
Remember, Steinow was hurt last week, went off with a bruised knee, and it looked pretty severe, but he's back in playing.
So 1st down and 10 now for the Mountaineers. Burchett hands it off to Beard. Beard, plenty of running room. Gained 7 on the play.
I like this play, Grayson. They're just power run. They actually pull both the offside guard and tackle, and he's able to actually pick his hole.
So the Mountaineers, early on, they've been pretty effective running the ball against the 2nd toughest team in the nation to run against. 2nd down and 3 now for the Mountaineers. Burchett hands it off to Beard. He's got the 1st down. Out to the 36-yard line, as they have now moved deep into Grizzly territory.
They're doing a nice job controlling the ball. That time I formation, just power over the right side.
Appalachian State at the 36-yard line.
So 1st down and 10 for the Mountaineers. Beard and Hoover in the backfield. They pitch it out to Beard. He gets taken down at the line of scrimmage by Corey Murtis.
Curtis has been a factor all year. He's just very strong, very athletic. From Great Falls, Montana, he does a nice job to fill the hole. Watch here, he comes all the way across as he tries to cut back. That was a great tackle.
Lowers the hit on Beard. Slowing down the running tack here, at least for right now. Brings up 2nd down and 11. Burchett back in the shotgun. Grizzlies show blitz. The Mountaineers, looks like they move early. It looks like 66, Joe Patrick.
That'll be 5 free ones. You know, one of the guys you want to watch if you're a Montana defensive, listen to the call here.
Dead ball, full start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Well, it looks like the offense jumped. Well, I was mentioning Daniel Wilcox, number 7, their tight end. He's a great receiver. Generally, if they're going to throw to the tight end, it'll be to his side. They do run double tights, but usually the other tight end, number 70, is a blocking tight end. But number 7 is a game winner for them. He can break away. Now he's split out at wide receiver.
Yeah, he's at the bottom of your screen on a 2nd down and 16 now. Burchett back to throw. Good time. Fires for Wilcox, who's got the catch. Taken out by Damon Parker at the 30-yard line. It's going to be short of the 1st down.
He's a real good athlete. You'll be hearing him all day, I have a feeling. And the quarterback was looking at him all the way. It was no other receiver hot, in his mind anyway, on this play.
Damon Parker, great coverage, but a great throw by Burchett. Brings up 3rd down and 5 now. Big play for both teams. Burchett on the option, pitches it out to Watkins, who is taken out of bounds short of the first down.
Now Montana's defense rallied on this play. Mertis and Steinow came in and filled. Interesting call on 3rd and 5. They run option. You'd think they'd, try to go outside. Look at Mertis come down the line. That's an awesome job on his part.
Matt Steinow also there on the play, so brings up 4th down and 4 as he loses a yard. And the Mountaineers look like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, a little too far for a field goal and too close to punt.
Burchett, play action, back to throw, overthrows his receiver who was open. Joey Hoover was out in the flat, but Burchett misses him and the Grizzlies take over.
Yeah, he's got to feel a little disappointed because you mentioned it. He was open. I like the play. They pull a guard out there. They let the fullback help block, or the tailback. He's got a lot of protection. The receiver's wide open.
So we're going to take a break as the Grizzly defense does their job. Montana up 3-0. Welcome back. Montana up 3-0. The Grizz defense just came up huge, stopping the Mountaineers on a 4th down and 4. So the offense now takes over at their own 30-yard line. Miller hands it off to Humphrey, looking for a crease. Not much of one there. Keeps fighting, but only a gain of a yard on a play.
Watson on the stop for the
It seems like both teams really have only been effective running the ball just straight ahead, not trying to go for the perimeters.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I think that is important. Let your guys just drive block, go straight at them, and let your backs just get what they can, because you go to the corner and you try to plant and cut back, you're gonna slip almost every time.
So that brings up 2nd down and 8 now for the Grizzlies. The snow is let up in the field, starting to thaw out just a little bit. Miller back to throw, has time, goes over the middle to Jimmy Ferris, gets a stiff arm. He tried to make a big play, but it's ultimately going to cost him, as he is a yard short of the first down. He had it where he caught the ball, but tried to make a big play and just unable to do so. Nice tackle there by the defenders for the Mountaineers.
It's a great shot here. Jimmy just kind of turns around and heads across field, looking to break, go downfield, but the defenders were right with him.
Yeah, you see right there, number 11, Westland Hunter, doing a good job hanging on. And so that brings up 3rd down and 1 for the Grizzlies. To Humphrey, and he gets stopped short of the first down.
That's Montana's bread and butter run. That we saw it last week often. They come across with the tight end, and he cuts back underneath. But this time, the Mountaineers definitely were planning for that, and actually, he didn't really follow the hole. Generally, it's inside by the center, but he went over the tackle, and there's nothing there.
Ryan Watson got good penetration, took Humphrey down a yard behind the line of scrimmage. So on 4th and 2, Mike Reedy has to punt, gets it back to Jimmy Watkins, who slips at first, but now he's got some room to run. Gets hit by John Fitzgerald and down to the 37-yard line, and so that's where the Mountaineers are going to start with it. Good return again by Watkins. In the 4th quarter, Georgia Southern up, but only by 6. Up on Delaware 24-18. That is still in the 4th quarter. Actually, to update that, Georgia Southern right now with 2:21 left in the 4th quarter take the field goal, so they're up 27-18. Big field goal for them. Gives them a 9-point lead. Burchett off to Beard, who gets nailed by Dan DeCoit after a yard gain.
Well, you like it when your linebackers deliver a blow, and DeCoit really stepped up on this one. Watch here as the running back follows his fullback into the hole in isolation. What a hit.
Dan DeCoit just nails him. As you can tell, the snow starting to kind of fade on the field a little bit. It's still coming down, but it's starting to melt on impact. So pretty soon, they might be able to get some pretty good footing out here. Brings up 2nd down and 9 for the Mountaineers. Burchett doesn't like what he sees, so he calls a timeout.
He didn't
Play
want
clock was running down.
He didn't want to, have a delay of game. There's only 4 seconds in the quarter. He could have let the quarter go out and get a free first down out of it or a free timeout, but chose to take a timeout instead.
So 4 seconds left here in the first quarter. The Grizzlies up by a score of 3-0. And both teams have been able to move the ball just a little bit, but clearly the field conditions and the weather have hampered both offenses just a bit here.
Defensive playing, both sides playing pretty well. And as you mentioned, with it being as slick as it is, being able to cover on their part is a good omen for those defenses.
Drew Miller has been able to throw to Jimmy Ferris a few times. They've been effective, but Jimmy has not been able to break it all the way down to the end zone. And that's been a big part of Appalachian State's success, is making sure that Jimmy Ferris does not break an absolutely huge play. So with 4 seconds left in the first quarter, the Mountaineers are going to be faced with a 2nd down and 9. As play resumes now. Back to throw from the shotgun. Fires. Incomplete. Trying to go to number 6, Sterling Hayward, but he gets nailed by Matt Steinau. It falls incomplete, and that is the end of the first quarter, with the Montana Grizzlies leading in a low-scoring ballgame by a score of 3-0. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Second quarter, 3-0 Montana. 3rd down and 9. Burchett going to throw, fires, has his man Troy Albee for a 1st down into Grizzly territory at the 49-yard line.
Burchett made a great throw there, Grayson. He stepped up, but just a beautiful pass as he kind of rifled it in there. They talked about that earlier in the week, that he's the kind of quarterback, he doesn't scramble a lot, but he's got enough faith in his strong arm, almost like a John Elway type. He'll throw it in there, and boy, did he do a nice job on that one.
So 1st down and 10 for the Mountaineers, as it's starting to clear up now. Snow's not coming down. Field is starting to get clear. Sun is even cracking through just a little bit. They hand it off to Beard. Gets taken down by Adam Boomer after a gain of about a half yard.
Boomer and DeCoit right up front, coming off their blocks and making excellent tackles. You can see it's just a trap inside. Boomer beats the trap block, makes a great tackle.
So it's going to bring up 2nd down and 9 for the Mountaineers. They go in a 4 wide receiver set. 3 to the top of your screen. Burchett in the shotgun. Drops back to throw. Plenty of time. Now Andy Pita comes in along with Justin Brandon and Corey Murtis, and they get the sack.
Burchett's a real tall, strong quarterback, a little bit like Dante Culpepper for the Minnesota Vikings. And here comes Andy Pedic, finally gets off his block, but even he can't take him down on the first swipe. But then enough of his teammates rally around and help bring him down.
Yeah, he feeds them right into Justin Brandon and Corey Murtis, and they bring them down. So they get their first sack of the game, and that brings up a 3rd and 16 now for the Mountaineers. From their own 44-yard line, the Grizzly defenders calling on the crowd to make some noise. Burchett in the shotgun again. He's got time. Going deep. He's got a man who's open. Troy Albee was open, but he overthrows him. So they're going to have to punt, but he was there.
He would love to have that throw back. He was open, and it was a touchdown if it had got in his hands. Watch him drop back. We talk about the strength of his arm. He airs this out, but he just throws it a little too far.
Calvin Coleman on the coverage, getting beat a little bit there, maybe looking for some safety help. It wasn't there, and they dodge a bullet. Punt now to TJ Okers, taking it the 3-yard line. He's got a little room to the sideline. Able to get over there, but still short of the 20-yard line. So the Grizzlies will be backed up in their own territory after a 52-yard punt. The Grizzlies will take over with a 3-0 lead. Stay tuned. Welcome back. 3-0 Montana. 12:50 left in the second quarter. As the Grizzlies take over 1st and 10. Miller back to throw. Has time. Fires over the middle for his tight end, Spencer Frederick. He makes the catch. Good for 11 yards and a first down.
Spencer's a good tight end. He does a good job blocking, and he did an excellent job here. He ran basically a crossing route, and then he stopped, and he got into open coverage under the zone, and he just waited, and Drew put it right to him.
So far, the offensive line for the Grizzlies has done a good job giving Drew Miller protection. It's a first down, moves it out to the 29-yard line of the Grizzlies. Miller hands it off to Ben Drinkwalter in the game now. Goes straight ahead for 4 yards. Good gain on the ground for the Grizzlies.
That time, Spencer Frederick from tight end kind of played fullback, went in motion side, and made an excellent block. Benny Drinkwalter kind of fakes like it's going to be sweep and then cuts it straight up behind him.
Tackle made by number 27, Justin Severns, who is the leading tackler for the Mountaineers. Brings up 2nd down and 5 now for the Grizzlies. Miller back to throw. Going for Tanner Hancock to the corner, actually out to Molden, but a great play made there by Deshaun Martin. Knocks it away.
That time, just a quick streak, basically, and Drew throws a good pass, but as you mentioned, wonderful coverage.
Oh, Martin does not get a hand on it. Molden could take that all the way to the house, but a great play made by Martin. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 5 now for the Grizzlies. If you take a look, Grizzlies have 5 first downs. Mountaineers only 2. Miller back to throw. Has time. Going for the corner. Tanner Hancock, who makes the catch inside Mountaineer territory at the 47-yard line.
Boy, that was a perfect throw and catch. Drew checked off at the line because they dropped eight defenders. Look at this throw. Just a little corner pattern, but a deep one. Nice catch.
Tanner Hancock brings that in, and that's a big first down for the Grizzlies as they keep their drive alive. 1st down and 10 now at the 47-yard line of the Mountaineers.
If Drew gets a hot hand, Grayson, he can really light it up.
And the field now, it's pretty much all green. It was blanketed with snow just a few minutes ago. Miller back to throw. Has some time, a little screen pass out to Tanner Hancock. Great play made there, though, by number 40, Jimmy Freeman. Comes back from his defensive end spot to make the play.
Freeman, a real nice-looking athlete. As you mentioned, releases quick. That time the Mountaineers brought a blitz, and Drew had to get rid of it a little bit early.
Yeah, Freeman just was not sucked in by that play. She could have gone for a lone way if he doesn't come back to make the hit. Makes it 2nd down and 9 now for the Grizzlies. Ben Drinkwalter still in the game, a tailback for the Grizz. Miller, little draw. Plenty of room for Ben Drinkwalter. He powers his way forward. That's going to be good enough for another first down to the 36-yard line of the Mountaineers.
Well, Drinkwalter, a senior from Great Falls, Montana, really earned his bread and butter on this one. Follows a great-looking pull block that time, and nice hole.
Hit made by Steve Kitchens. The safety, Drinkwalter, stays in the game. 4 wide receivers now for the Grizzlies. 1st and 10. Hancock in motion. Miller swings it out to Hancock, looking for a block. Doesn't get one. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
I think that play kind of shows how tough the Mountaineer defense is. That play has worked well for Montana all year. It's basically just a swing, try to get everybody out and outrun people, but there's no one to outrun as the defense closes quick.
As you see, a couple of Grizzlies unable to pick up their blocks there, and the wide receivers are good blockers, but that may be a play that's not going to work against this defense. Brings up 2nd down and 11 after a loss of a half yard. Miller hands it off to Drinkwalter again. This time, not a whole lot of room. Gain of 1.5 on the play, taken down by KT Stovall.
You know, Coach Glenn commented how proud of Drinkwalter he is, being a senior and following Johansi Humphrey, the Grizzly leading all-time rusher. But it's nice that they kind of spell Yo a little bit and they give Ben a chance to go in and prove himself, and boy, almost every time he does.
So far, Ben has been a little bit more effective. He's had better footing. You never know. They might be working on Yo and his footing and his shoes, but the field now is starting to look much, much better. 3rd down and 10 for the Grizzlies, hoping to keep this drive alive inside Mountaineer territory. Miller back to throw, has time, swings it out to Ben Drinkwalter. He's going to have to work for it, unable to get there. Nice play made by Deshaun Martin, knocking Drinkwalter short of the 1st down inside the 30-yard line. In fact, he's about 2 yards short, and the crowd wanted him to go for it.
Well, they ran a twist up front. They faked blitz, and then Drinkwalter, just the outlet guy, got a good job with him to get upfield and get some positive yardage. They are going to go for it, I think, Grayson, on 4th down because, again, they're almost too far and too slick to kick and way too close to punt.
Drew Miller calling a timeout as the play clock was starting to run down there a little bit. So the Grizzlies, they'll come out with a 4th down and 2. Talk it over a little bit. They've got the lead, 3-0. Into Mountaineer territory, 4th down and 2. Miller back to throw. Quick one, trying to find Atu Molden. He can't get him. Just thrown behind him, so now the Grizzly defense will be called upon to try to stop the Mountaineers, and their defense comes up big.
The umpire got in the act here, a little crossing pattern, and Miller just dumps it off, but the umpire and just threw it behind him, actually, more than anything.
Yeah, so that's going to bring up 1st down and 10 for the Mountaineers, as their defense has shown to be very impressive. They haven't been able to completely stop the Grizzlies, but that wasn't their goal. They're just trying to keep everything in front of them. Grizzlies have been unable to pop a big, big play. 1st down and 10 now, 4 wide receivers for the Mountaineers. Grizzlies showing blitz, and it pays off. Jerry Beard gets the handoff, and he gets nailed behind the line of scrimmage. Tony Brown, the first guy there. Adam Boomer cleans it up.
Well, your defenses usually is what carry you to championship games, and both of these teams have great defenses. Boomer inside and a little blitz from the outside, and there's just nowhere to go.
So that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 12 for the Mountaineers. And again, they go with 4 wide receivers. They've shown an awful lot of looks here already today. Burchett in the shotgun, back to throw, getting pressured, swings it out to Troy Albee. Gets absolutely nailed by Matt Steinow after a minimal gain.
There is a flag, Grayson. I think we're going to have holding here, and it's going to come back. Watch as he kind of rolls a little bit, about a half a roll, but then Andy couldn't get off the block. I think he had a little holding going on, but caught it. But it is going to come back for the hold, and I think that's where they called it, was on Pedic. He couldn't get off his block.
Yeah, Jonathan Holliday, it looked like he held Andy Pedic, which sometimes isn't a bad idea. Andy, 22 sacks on the season. The Grizzlies have a little decision here.
Well, they could decline. It'll be 3rd down, or take it in 2nd and deep. See what they decide to do.
Holding on the offense. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
So the Grizzlies elect to have the Mountaineers lose that down, bring up 3rd down and long. Shows a lot of confidence in your defense, because you really could have backed the Mountaineers up quite a long ways there. But now it's going to bring up third down.
That'll be a passing situation. Let's watch his arm. As we mentioned, he's got a great arm. See if he forces something in or goes deep.
The crowd getting into it now. Third down and 11. Burchett in the shotgun. Little movement there by the offensive line. Along with Corey Murtis, though. We'll have to, both teams pointing at each other.
This is the one usually where the line judge and the umpire have to get together to tell the referee. The referee's in the white hat. The line judge is letting him know what he saw. Defense can shift, but they can't go into the neutral zone unless they get back.
Dead ball, offside, defense.
They called Corey Murtis for jumping into the neutral zone, like you said. Really one of those where it's very hard to tell. It was kind of simultaneous where they moved, so it's going to go against the defense. And now maybe Joe Glenn wishing they had taken the penalty earlier and backed the Mountaineers up, because now this becomes a manageable third down and 6. Burchett still in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers. Back to throw, has time, fires for Albee. Great coverage by Calvin Coleman, falls incomplete, and the Mountaineers are going to have to punt.
Well, give Coleman credit, because I think he reached up inside. It was a great pass, a lot of heat on the throw. As we mentioned, he's got a gun for an arm, throws it in there. But I think he gets his hand underneath and tips it out.
Calvin Coleman, great coverage. So now TJ Okers back to receive the punt. Low line drive. Okers, a little bit of room, not a whole lot. Makes his way out to the 40-yard line. Still pretty good field position for the Grizzlies after a 39-yard punt. So the Grizzly defense will take over now with a 3-0 lead and just over 7 minutes left in the first half.
Well, again, we spoke about the weather. It's better now. The footing's better. And again, it may close in the way the clouds are moving in from the west. So both offenses want to capitalize, if at all possible, here in the first half. As
you saw Miller's stats, he's been effective, but they haven't been able to put one in the end zone yet. Miller on 1st and 10. They hand it off to Johansi Humphrey. Just nothing there. Great play being made by number 96 for Appalachian State. That's Ryan Watson. He's been active already today, and so the Grizzlies not real effective on the ground so far.
Well, the Mountaineers look a little bit on defense like the Grizzlies. Their linemen are strong. They're not all that tall, but they are definitely strong individuals, and they just close it up front. Johansi had nowhere to go.
Well, and in that Southern Conference, they are built around trying to stop the run. Teams like Georgia Southern. Brings up 2nd down and 10 now. Miller back to throw. Has good time. Fires out to Atu Molden. Gains 6 on the play. Goes out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
Real high percentage pass. A little out pattern. Atu with great hands. Love how he catches the ball. Watch his hands here if you get a chance. He turns them kind of inside out and just swarms that ball up. Gets about 5 yards.
Knocked out of bounds by Justin Sievers. 3rd down and 4 now for the Grizzlies. Little draw play to Johansi Humphrey. He's got room up the middle. He's still on his feet. Out to the 34-yard line. They really caught the Mountaineers off guard with that play.
That was a great one. It's a draw, and Yo shows you on that play why he's the leading rusher for Montana history. Watch here, comes straight up, does an excellent job. Great vision, gets extra yards all he can.
So big first down for the Grizzlies as they now move into Mountaineer territory. Out to the 34-yard line. 1st and 10. Miller hands it off to Yo again, looking for room, slips down. He's had that happen about 3 times today, and he's going to lose a yard.
Well, Montana's got some trick plays in their package, Grayson, as all teams do. And last week, we really didn't see him use anything like a halfback pass or a double pass or anything special. I was teasing Billy Cockhill earlier in the week when I visited with him. I said, hey, you're going to use any of that trickery? And he kind of smiled. And this is an area of the field where it's a good time to use it. Again, we talked about the weather closing back in. I definitely look for something here.
2nd down and 11 for the Grizzlies at the 35-yard line of the Mountaineers. Jimmy Ferris in motion. Miller back to throw. Has time. Going deep for Jimmy Ferris. He's got it at the 5-yard line. Fights his way to the 3. And the Grizzlies will have burst and goal inside the 5.
Well, there's a trick play for you. You don't need tricks when you got Jim Ferris and Drew Miller throwing the ball. He makes it look easy here. About a 7-step drop, sets up, he's going to Jimmy all the way. It's a post pattern. It's either going to get caught or it's going to be incomplete, and Jimmy does the rest.
Jimmy finding a nice soft spot in the defense, and Drew, very, very accurate, throws it so Jim can run after the catch. And now the Grizzlies really need to punch it in here. Drew Miller tries to quiet the crowd down. Atu Molden in motion. They give it to Johansi Humphrey. Only about a yard on the play.
Well, what they did that time, Grayson, is they ran motion and dove over the top. I asked Cockhill, you don't usually boot out of that where he'll fake and go the other way. A lot of time when they bring the tight end, and you can see Drew calling the receiver across the field.
And this is where they had trouble the last time they moved this deep against the Mountaineers, unable to punch it in with the running game. So it brings up 2nd down and 3. Again, they give it to Humphrey. And again, he is hit well short. In fact, he's going to lose yardage, hit down by Jimmy Freeman.
Freeman made a great play. He's a senior, 245 pounds, and boy, he shows some leadership here. This is an I formation, just power. Freeman strips his block and makes an awesome tackle.
Leif Thorson gets beat on the play, and you can hear the fans getting a little bit impatient.
Well, if you're a defensive coach, you've got to smile when you have a player like Mr. Freeman. That's about his 3rd real big play of the day.
So the Grizzlies on 3rd and goal. They go to 4 wide receivers now. Drew Miller checking off, moves back into the shotgun now. 1 second left on the play clock. He gets it off, fires out for Tanner Hancock, but that one deflected by number 4, Owolowo. And so the kicking team will have to come on, and their ineffectiveness, being able to pound the ball in there, is definitely hurting the Grizzlies.
This is a quick corner pattern. Threw it up a little bit short, and a great defensive play. The defensive backs for the Mountaineers have really been the story, I think, of keeping the Grizzlies out of the end zone.
So Snyder comes in for another short field goal. And it is good. And that is, Snyder has been really the only factor so far, as he has 6 points, and that's the only points that have been scored today. Montana, with just over 3 minutes left in the half, lead by a score of 6-0. Welcome back. Grizzlies up 6-0. Just over 3 minutes left here in the first half. Chris Snyder kicks off, taken by Watkins at his own 3-yard line. He's got a crease up the middle. He's got a big return, takes a monster hit by Tony Brown, but he is out at the 40-yard line. And they've been able to get big returns from Watkins so far.
What a weapon he is. He is so fast. What a wonderful hit here by our kicker, Mr. Schneider. Levels him, takes him off his feet, but I'll tell you, Watkins is a real weapon.
So Chris Schneider, pardon me, number 29, comes down, makes the big hit. 1st and 10 now for the Mountaineers in good field position. They pitch it out to Beard. Not much there. Gets about a yard on the play. Dan DeCoit.
I think Montana has to give some serious consideration to not kicking it deep, because Watkins has so much speed. Just watching him, this is the 2nd time they've set up on the 40, and that is a real weapon. I think they really have to think about that.
2nd down and 9. The Mountaineers in a bit of a hurry up. They throw it out to number 5. That is Rashad Slade with the catch. He's still short of a first down by 2 yards, but he gets out of bounds and stops the clock at 2:26 left in the first half.
We talked about Daniel Wilcox, number 7, the tight end, being very talented. Today he is matched up against Adam Boomer. On pass, Boomer has him, and that's a pretty good matchup. And you know what? Wilcox has been calling for the ball on the last several plays. Look for them to go deep to him against Boomer.
So 3rd down and 2 now for the Mountaineers. They give it to Beard up the middle. He's got the first down. Works his way into Grizzly territory down to the 46-yard line.
You know, all teams have tendencies, and Montana's coaching staff talked about the different alignments and what percentage of time people run, and the Mountaineers run or pass. And they are pretty predictable, but just about the time you get too comfortable knowing it's run or pass, they'll break away and change it up.
Clock running. 2:10 left in the first half. Pritchett now in the shotgun. Back to throw. Fires. Has his man. That's number 6. That's Sterling Hayward on the catch. Short of the first down. They give him forward progress, so he's about a yard short. But that keeps the clock moving at 1:41. Appalachian State, they do have 2 timeouts left. Pritchett back to throw. Fires out to the side. Has his man. That's Albee again. Taken down inbounds. It'll give him a first down, but keeps the clock moving. And I think now Appalachian State's going to take one of their timeouts.
Pritchett's definitely got a great arm, Grayson. We've talked about it quite a bit, but he's showing some leadership too, taking a timeout here and wanting to talk it over with his coach.
Yeah, for the Grizzlies, they've been able to move the ball no problem all day, particularly through the air. But it's clearly their short yardage goal line offense that has kept them from putting more points on the board. And this is how the Mountaineers win games in the playoffs. This is exactly what they've done. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They try to limit the offense if they can't stop it. And they believe late in the game they can pull it out.
No, with the first down now, I don't know why, Grace. I get the feeling that Wilson, their tight end, is going to be a factor, if not on this drive, certainly in the game. And as we mentioned, Boomer's going to be covering him. It'll see if they can, who's going to win that battle. Both great players.
So there's a minute 23 left here in the first half. The Mountaineers threatening. They're inside the 30-yard line. Burchett talking now to Wilcox, his tight end, as he gets back into the shotgun. Takes the snap, looking to throw. Going deep for Albee. That one thrown incomplete, though. Stops the clock at 1:17. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10.
Well, that time he stretched the defense a little bit. Probably a good call. Let him know that you've got the ability to go deep. We talked about the strength of his arm. Almost had a completion, but overthrew it. Talking with Mike Bresky, Grayson, he said he didn't think that Joe had great mobility at quarterback for the Mountaineers, but he had that arm strength. And I think what they'd like him to do is try to force him to make a mistake and throw it into coverage.
Burchett in the shotgun, 2nd and 10. Back to throw, has time. Goes over the middle. Big hit made on Jose White. And he is going to be real close to a first down. Might be close enough to measure, but I think he's short by about a half yard. In fact, they're not even going to measure. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about a half yard inside a minute left to play here in the first half. Burchett in the shotgun. Back to throw. Blitz coming. He fires. Picked off by Calvin Coleman at the 2-yard line. looking for return. He's got some room up the middle. He's got a chance to take this all the way. He's got one man to beat. Almost does it. He gets taken down at the 35-yard line with 32 seconds left in the first half. But there are a couple of flags down on the play.
I have a feeling the interception will stand. I think the flags were afterwards. But that play was really everything we've been talking about as it developed. He threw the ball to number 7, the tight end, and he overthrew it and made that mistake we mentioned, and then the interception ensued.
That's going to be an illegal block in the back, it looks like, on the Grizzlies. That's going to be on the return.
But that was an awesome play for both sides in that it stopped the drive. He overthrows Wilcox, and Coleman's just kind of sitting there playing center field, and Montana dodged a big bullet on that one.
The Grizzlies had the blitz coming, perhaps made Burchett throw it just a little bit higher than he wanted to.
I think they've got a clip and a hold, but the interception will still stand.
After the interception, during the turn, we had an illegal block in the back on the return team, half the distance to the goal, first down.
That's right.
So it takes back a huge return of 63 yards that would have set up the offense with great field position, but still, for the Grizzlies, the key is with 32 seconds left, they stopped the Mountaineers who were driving, and now they've got the chance backed up at their own 3-yard line, more than likely just run out the clock here and go into the locker room with a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, the official did a nice job that time, the referee, of kind of slowing it down and making sure the calls are right. But that's really the story. With 30 seconds to go, Montana will probably try to run the clock out. Just stay right here.
Now, they are backed up enough that you don't necessarily want Drew Miller taking a knee, so they may have to at least risk a handoff here to Johansi Humphrey. And they do hand it off to Yo, looking for some room. He gets some. He's still on his feet. He's out to the 15-yard line. That's good for a first down. And 23 seconds left. That's going to stop the clock just long enough for him to move the chains.
Well, these teams are really scrapping up front. They promised last night in the meeting that we had with the coaches that they were going to fight to the final whistle. And you can see they are really, really going at it.
So now the clock running again as the chains are set down to 12, and that's going to be it. Some of the fans wanting the Grizzlies to go for it here, but really no reason to take that risk as the defense continues to play well. In fact, shutting out the Mountaineers here in the first half. So the Grizzlies will go in, very low-scoring game, bit of a surprise, but the Grizzlies go into the locker room with a 6-0 lead. They've got to be happy to have the lead, but it could be bigger.
Yeah, and again, I just said that they dodged a bullet, and they really did. That time Joe threw the ball too strong. We talked about his arm, and just not long before the throw there, we talked about him forcing a turnover, and that's exactly what happened.
It's one of the few times that they blitzed Burchett, and it seemed to really pay off there as the pressure maybe getting to him just a little bit to where he overthrew his tight end. And so the Grizzlies go in with that 6-0 lead, but again, one of the things they'll certainly talk about in the locker room is that goal line offense, trying to get 6 instead of just 3. But right now, let's go down to the field. Tom Morellis is with the Grizzly head coach Joe Glenn.
Well, Joe, did you expect such a defensive battle in this ball game?
Both teams have moved the ball a little bit, just nobody's getting in the end zone. So tough territory is tough today. Red zone's been hard.
Now, I know you would have liked to have got in the red zone, but this team, Appalachian State, has had a problem with the big plays. Are you going to pull out a couple of big plays in the second half?
Well, I hope so. Now, we're shooting at them, taking some shots downfield and moving the ball. The footing's been a little slippery, but, it's quit snowing and looks like the track will hold up a little bit better second half. Maybe we'll be able to get a little better footing.
All right, good luck to you, Joe,
very much.
Second half. That's Joe Glenn, University of Montana head coach. Now we'll send it back up to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Tom. Well, that is the end of the first half. Montana up by a score of 6-0. When we come back on the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Montana halftime report, we'll look back at the first half, so stay tuned. Welcome to the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Montana halftime report. The Grizzlies up right now by a score of 6-0. Both teams hoping to pull this one out and make it to the national championship game in Chattanooga, where they will take on Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern, the defending champs, they will get a chance to defend their title as they beat Delaware today by a score of 27-18. And if the Grizzlies can somehow beat Appalachian State today, it'll give them a bit of an indication of what Georgia Southern is like. They're from the same conference at least.
And I believe Georgia Southern beat them earlier in the year, and of course anything can happen. But this is a great game, Grayson. You know, it's not high scoring, but the defenses should really be complimented. They've played exceedingly well, and the Mountaineers just made the one mistake there at the end that cost them really a touchdown, certainly a field goal, and it gave Montana a big boost to go into halftime with that.
Now both teams have been able to move the ball just a little bit. The Grizzlies have been able to come up with some big pass plays, but not touchdowns, and that's been the big problem for them. That's really the story of the game. 2 field goals. There's really no reason. I'm sure the Grizzlies are talking in the locker room saying there's no reason we shouldn't be up 14-0.
Well, and the Mountaineers are saying this. They're saying, hey, look, we should have had one there, guys. We're getting the ball in the third quarter. Let's go down and get it done. We're here to win. We can get it done. So it's going to be a dandy game, I have a feeling.
Should be a great second half. We're going to send it back to our local stations for a news update. When we come back, we will have all of the first half statistics and highlights on the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Montana halftime report. Welcome back to the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Montana halftime report. The Grizzlies up by a score of 6-0 over Appalachian State. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first half highlights, at least for the scoring. Not a whole lot to get too excited about. Chris Snyder getting the chip shot early on, made it 3-0 for the Grizzlies, which with the wet field, you can really see the difference in the field conditions. With just a few minutes, all of a sudden it dries out. Snyder, his second field goal of the day, would make it 6-0 Grizzlies. And then Appalachian State here at the end of the half trying to get something going, but Burchett gets picked off by Calvin Coleman, and that's where we stand right now, 6-0 Grizzlies up. So we take a look at the stats. You look at the Grizzly passing yards, 193. A figure they must have at least 14 points on the board. No, they have only 6, but they've been able to move the ball pretty well. Appalachian State really hasn't been able to move the ball much at all. Big difference in total yards.
Yeah, it's really been both defenses playing well. The Mountaineers, they're showing why they've got to this point. They've got a good team. They're in the game. It's anybody's game. They had a chance for a touchdown right at the end. Montana, Johnny on the spot with the interception and stopped the drive.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we will have the second half, so stay tuned.
NCAA Division I AA Semifinal Football Playoff game is brought to you by Montana-owned and operated Town Pump Food Stores, where you can save 3% on all fuel purchases using Exxon MasterCard. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Montana, 700 employees working to help solve Montana's healthcare issues. Cellular One, we tell it like it is, so let's talk. CarQuest, you'll find it at CarQuest. And PPL Montana, generating power for Montana and the West.
Welcome back. We're just about ready for the second half, but first, let's go down to Tom Morellis at the field.
Yeah, I'm here with Coach Jerry Moore from Appalachian State. Now, you've been able to hold the Grizzlies on 2 drives. They've only come up with 6 points. You have to be happy about your chances with that in the second half.
Well, we played defensively. Offensively, we just haven't had any consistency at all. If we can get that going, then we'll have a ball game out of it.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. That's Coach Jerry Moore from Appalachian State. We'll send it back up to you guys.
Yeah, right now, man, a few words. Just wants his offense to get going a little bit there. Obviously, a little bit frustrated with the way that his team is playing, down by a score of 6-0. Well, we've been joined by a special guest here up in the booth, Doug Fullerton, the Big Sky Conference Commissioner. Thanks for joining us.
I'm happy to be here.
I'm sure you're happy to be here. This is a great game, great opportunity for the Big Sky Conference to really showcase what has become their top football team, the Montana Grizzlies, and a chance to hopefully get back to the national championship game. I know that you're excited to be here also because these are 2 great representatives from 2 great conferences in this country.
They really are. The Southern Conference and the Big Sky, we consider to be the 2 conferences, or at least 2 of the maybe 3 or 4 conferences that have risen to the top of 1AA. And, I think that the numbers bear us out. They got 2 people in the semifinals this weekend, so they're having a great year, too.
How exciting is it, just from the Big Sky Conference standpoint, to have a team like the Montana Grizzlies make it this far and still alive right now, up 6-0, still alive for that national championship?
That is great. This is nerve-wracking. I haven't been like this since I was back being an AD. When you get to the championship, it seems like you can go and enjoy it more. But getting there is the trouble. These are the ones that make you nervous. And I feel a lot better if University of Montana could have scored on those 2 plays, scored some touchdowns.
Well, I know during the season you have to be impartial. You like all the teams in the Big Sky Conference, but now you're wearing the maroon and silver.
Absolutely. I don't have to be impartial anymore.
The kickoff by Chris Snyder, taken there at the 20-yard line by Jose White. Goes out of bounds deep in his own territory, so the Grizzlies will come out on defense. Well, thank you very much for joining us up here in the box. I know that it's a little bit of a nerve-wracking game, but hopefully the Grizzlies come out on top, and a big win for the Big Sky Conference.
Yeah, I hope so too.
All right, well, thanks for joining us up here in the booth, and enjoy the game. Now 1st and 10 here for the Mountaineers from their own 11-yard line. Burchett under center. He drops back, looking to throw, getting some pressure now. Tyler Martin gets a hold of him, but he breaks a tackle. The defense comes back to him, but Burchett still able to get a gain of about 4 on the play. Able to scramble around a little bit and make something happen.
He showed his strength on that, Grayson. He's very strong. We mentioned it earlier in the game. You can see it here. Everybody's covered. Give the defense credit for having everybody wrapped up. But watch his strength. He's able to pull away from, I think that's Corey Murtis inside.
Yeah, it's Tyler Martin. Not many people are able to pull away from the big tractor trailer, as they call him here in Missoula. So now that brings up a 2nd down and 5 out at their own 16-yard line. The Grizz defense really been able to hold the Mountaineers in check so far, trying to do it again. Crowd up, fired up. They give it to Watkins. Watkins just gets sandwiched, absolutely munched after about a yard gain.
I like the play call, and a little trap inside. But again, Montana's defensive front is so strong. You can see those guards and tackles pull. He's trying to follow them, but they cancel everything out. There's no hole.
Andy Pedic, Dan DeCoit in on the play, brings up a 3rd down and 4 now. Big play for the Mountaineers. They need to try to get something going offensively here in the second half. Backed up in their own territory. This is a big play just for field position, as they come out now with 5 wide receivers, looking a little bit like the Montana Grizzlies. Burchett all by himself in the shotgun. Back to throw. Fires. Has his man, Albee, who makes it awfully close. He had it where the catch was, but then he tried running around a little bit, almost lost the 1st down, but looks like he's still going to have it by about a half yard.
Yeah, he does have it, as you mentioned. Shows a lot of discipline. Just gets beyond the marker, sits down, and plays catch. Look at the arm strength of that quarterback. Very strong arm.
Yeah, he almost ran himself out of a 1st down there, but still able to pick it up. Big for the Mountaineers as they go 1st and 10. At their own 22-yard line. Burchett in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers. Hands it off to Beard. Beard's going to lose yardage. Taken down well behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of about 3.
Little draw play, and Montana was not fooled at all. The strength of those defensive front shows here again. That's the difference between this defense and defenses of years gone by. They are just so strong up front.
Corey Murtis, Justin Brandon, Vince Huntsberger, all there on the play along with Tony Brown. They actually knocked them back for a 5-yard loss, so now all of a sudden the Mountaineers find themselves in 2nd and long, 2nd and 15. Grizzlies showing blitz. They come. Tony Brown puts on pressure, unable to bring them down, but his teammates are there, and Adam Boomer gets the sack. Loss of about 4 on the play. The Mountaineers are going the wrong way.
Coach Bresky talked about some new zone blitzes, and here's one of them. He said he's put in 35 this year. Well, this is probably number 35 here. Montana all over the football.
So now 3rd down and 18 for the Mountaineers. They've been knocked back behind the line of scrimmage the last 2 plays. The crowd getting very, very loud. The blitz again. Here comes Dave DeCoit. He fires it out for Albee. Overthrown. He had him. Damon Parker was beaten by a couple yards on the play.
Huntsberger was coming over to help out. It was the 3rd time, Grayson, that they had an open receiver where the quarterback has overthrown him. Not even counting the interception.
Well, they brought the blitz again, and it seems like that's really the way to play Burchett because he's had a couple of guys open, but every time they blitz, he tends to overthrow his receivers. So now they have to punt at their own 1-yard line. TJ Okers, it's a short kick. TJ Okers will take it on the hop. Not much more. He gets taken down by Rico Washington at the 45-yard line after a 41-yard punt. The Grizzlies will have great field position for their first possession of the second half with a 6-0 lead.
Well, if you come out at halftime, you want your defense to answer the call. Montana did that, and now, of course, the big one is you want to get some scores. The weather is starting to close in again, and it looked like it would. And starting to snow a little bit. The wind's kicking back up, so points are so important right now.
Drew Miller, 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies at their own 45-yard line. Little movement there by the defensive line. They came across. Oh, and we got a little bit of a scuffle there between Ryan Watson and Thatcher DeLay.
Well, they are competitors. We mentioned it earlier, going at it all day up front.
Dead ball, offsides, defense, 5 yards, still 1st down.
Drew's got a nice hard count, Grayson. All year long he's been able to draw people off, kind of like Elway did when he was with the Broncos, and kind of the hut, and get him to jump off. And those linemen are awfully good for Appalachian State.
So that's going to bring up 1st down and 5 at the 50-yard line. And Drew Miller, not real happy. They got the play in late to him. He's not too happy about that, and he's got to waste a timeout very early here in the second half. Grizzlies have the ball at midfield with a 6-0 lead. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Montana up 6-0, faced with a 1st down and 5 at the 50. When they come back from timeouts, a lot of times they go for big plays. Miller back to throw, has time, going over the middle for Spencer Fredericks, just unable to pull it in. He was open.
Intended for Spencer Frederick, called incomplete.
He was open, as you mentioned. I'm sure Drew would have liked to have one more chance at that one. Also, Jimmy Ferris, running a streak down the right side, was open as well. He had 2 people open on that play.
Oh, just unable to quite spread out and get that one, Spencer Frederick. So it brings up 2nd down and 5 now for the Grizzlies as they try to add to their 6-0 lead here in the 3rd quarter. Mountaineers showing blitz. They back off now. Here they come. They hand it off to Yo, and he gets absolutely stuffed. Wesleyan Hunter comes on the blitz and nails him. Takes him back to the original line of scrimmage, so now it's 3rd down and 10 for the Grizzlies.
A little draw, and he blitzed right into it. He had nowhere to go. He got excited at the end. He's got to be careful when he gets up for a taunting call or a little extracurricular here. And he could have been called there. He's excited, and he should be, because it was a great play, but you got to watch it.
Well, Drew Miller more than likely go back to throw here. He has completed 7 passes. He's completed passes to 7 different receivers. He's got 4 out there now. He looks to throw, got time, fires for Jimmy Ferris, but throws it behind him. He had Jimmy open. So now the Grizzlies will have to punt. Both defenses have come out, pretty much started where they left off.
Yeah, defense has been the name of the game all the way through, and the inability to get into the end zone for the offensive team just underthrows him. Actually, he was open.
Yeah, he had him there. He hasn't misfired much today. He's completing a very high percentage of his passes, but misses there. So now Mike Reedy back to punt. They come after this one. He gets it off, though. Very nice high punt. Taken inside the 10. Oh, Calvin Coleman makes the hit and the tackle. There's a flag down, and this might be the halo rule.
Well, there's 2 flags, Grayson. One back where the kicker kicked the ball. It's not roughing, though. I believe it's holding. And then another kick, so there'll be multiple fouls off this. So watch on the replay here. Coleman.
Boy, that is so close. That is a pretty tough call to make.
But again, there's multiple calls. I'm sure there's holding here on the punt.
There is, so the Grizzlies will have to do this one over again.
You know, these are one of the kind of games as a coach looking at Joe Glenn there, you sort of hate him because you're winning, but you're not really winning. You're winning, but it's not out of reach, and you just get a weird feeling. You want your team to, hit 4th gear and shift, and the defense is good enough they've not been able to do that.
You take a look. Oh, pretty tough call, but it's the holds that are really going to hurt the Grizzlies because it's going to move them back, and they're going to have to punt again. They had
We had 2 fouls on the play. We had interference with the opportunity to make a catch, violation of 2-yard belt. That penalty is declined. We had holding on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, and 4th down.
Well, the hold is the one that really hurts, and that's the one they accept. That halo rule, boy, that's one of the most controversial rulings in football right now. A lot of people don't like it. To be honest, I don't. It doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense.
Looks like they went on punt block last time. Let's see if they come again.
Reedy gets it off, but this one is shanked off the side of his foot. It takes a decent Grizzly bounce, but still the Mountaineers are going to come up with some decent field position out at their own 33-yard line after a 37-yard punt. The Mountaineers trying to get some momentum offensively. They're down 6-0. Welcome back. The Montana Grizzlies have a 6-0 lead, but the Mountaineers have the ball. 10-14 left in the 3rd quarter. Burchett, little play action fake. Looks to throw. It's up in the air and then caught by Wilcox. Makes the catch, but now it's... Well, no, he still has... I thought it was loose there for a second. Kind of a wild play. Gets 11 yards and a 1st down.
This is a play the Mountaineers run a lot. Actually, the first time today, but watching them on tape, they do bootleg a lot. And they kind of set up the defense here for it. You can see the little fake and roll out. It did fool Montana's front. Andy he bid on the fake, and then he rolls, but it's tipped by Steinow.
Matt Steinow almost got both hands on that. May have been able to just pick it off, and then the defender covering Wilcox fell down, allowing him to make the catch, get a 1st down. Doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you do it. 1st down and 10 for the Mountaineers. This time Burchett back to pass. He just throws it away as he gets hit by Adam Boomer, and right now they want the call, and they're going to get it. This is an intentional grounding call right here on Burchett.
Yeah, Boomer wants everybody to know as he comes off the pile it wasn't a late hit, but he was swarmed basically. He didn't even have a chance to set his foot, Grayson. He threw that, still going backwards.
Well, the Mountaineer players are cheering right now.
There's no flag on the play.
Whoa.
Well, he's saying that the receiver fell, and if that's the case, it's a good call. But I can't see on the replay here if that's the case or not. But it will not count. It'll give him a second.
Take another look. It's hard to see, but folks, I don't see any receiver who's fallen down right there. And I think the Grizzlies have a gripe. So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Mountaineers. The crowd motivated probably more by the refs right now than even the Mountaineers. They are very loud, up on their feet. 2nd down and 10. Burchett back to throw. It gets deflected again. Andy Pettit gets his hands up, knocks it down. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 10.
Andy is such a good defensive end. He's talking about him so many games. A former high school wrestler, high school standout at Helena Capital. Watch here. Quarterback, a quick drop. Andy sees it, jumps up, knocks it down.
That's a great read. They've been trying to cut down those guys all day. Keeps his feet, gets in the air.
And that's one of the blocks they'll teach an offensive lineman, is the cut block, try to make him bend over, but Andy didn't buy it.
3rd and 10, and this is about as loud as I have heard the crowd all year. Burchett in the shotgun, going back to throw. He gets pressured, blitzed, going deep. And it is caught by Troy Albee, who gets down to the 6-yard line, and the Mountaineers finally break a big one.
Yeah, and the contact was there. A nice call, but he just uses his arm strength and goes deep. There was a lot of contact going down, so the flag really had to go up, and he made the catch anyway. So the play will stand, I'm sure, for the first down.
Yeah, Damon Parker.
Interference on the defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
Damon Parker kind of knew he was beat, tried to hold him up, unable to do so. Burchett really lucky to get this off. He was getting knocked around quite a bit in the pocket, even by his own players.
Nice play by him. You had a feeling, Grayson, that he'd connect. He'd missed so many of these long ones. They got that one.
On the Mountaineers, for the first time, are threatening to score. They pitch it out to Beard. Has a little room, makes his way down to the 3-yard line. And like you said before, the Grizzlies are winning, but they're in the danger zone. They're one play away from losing.
Yeah, it's a good game, and the defenses are going to, I think, make the difference. The last play, they run a little sweep, and then he cuts back underneath. That was a good call. He picked up about 3 yards.
So that brings up 2nd down and 3 now. 2nd down and goal for the Mountaineers from the 3-yard line. Burchett gives it to the up man, Hoover, and Hoover gets nothing. His first carry of the day results in 0 yards.
Well, that was definitely a run tendency offensive lineup. It was an I formation. They give it to the fullback, which is unusual, and Hoover gets vacuumed basically at the line of scrimmage by the Grizzlies. They're everywhere.
Touché. Joe Robinson in on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd down and goal. This is a huge play for the Grizzly defense. The crowd getting very loud. Burchett hands it off to Beard, and Beard is stopped short of the goal line. Gets a yard, but nothing more.
Well, that is power football. Coach, he's saying, the offensive coach for the Mountaineers saying, we're going to come right at you. This time it's an I formation, and it's just power football, in your face kind of stuff. Dive, let the fullback lead. Montana's guys are everywhere up front. Nice play by the linebackers.
So Mark Wright comes in to try to kick the field goal and cut the Grizzly lead to just 3. He kicks it through. So that makes it 6-3 as the Mountaineers and their fans who have made the trip finally have something to cheer about. They cut the Montana lead in half, 6-3, but Montana gets the ball coming back. Welcome back. Mountaineers just scored, kicked the field goal, cut the lead to 6-3. Kicking off, it's a short one. Tanner Hancock takes it at the 15-yard line. Not a whole lot of room. Makes his way out to the 25. Big hit there by Sam Smalls. And so the Grizzlies, they need to come out and get their offense going. They are definitely in the danger zone now. And Drew Miller needs to start finding his receivers. He's thrown for plenty of yards, but pretty ineffective here in the second half.
Well, exactly right. The offense is going to win it. The defense has kept them in, and both of these defenses have played very well. We talked about some gadget plays. I'd look for something here in the 3rd quarter to try to break it up at some point.
Ben Drinkwalter now in for Johansi Humphrey at the tailback spot. They give it to him. He's got a nice crease, good hole, powers his way forward. Good gain of 7 yards.
Nice start there, little draw, little pump fake, though I think set up the draw more than anything. Then Drinkwalter takes a counter step, pauses, and then takes off up the hole. He is a nice looking back.
The draw has really been their most effective run play so far. In fact, really their only effective run play today. So that brings up 2nd down and 2. Miller hands it off to Drinkwalter again. Another good crease. makes his way up the field, gets a huge face mask. It actually that's gonna be the 15-yard variety, but Drinkwalter would have been off to the races if he hadn't gotten him.
Exactly right. I think he'd have had a touchdown if the face mask. Another counter step, pauses, runs into the hole, and does an excellent job to cut back right there. And I think he'd have been gone after he broke that tackle until he got the face mask.
15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Yeah, Steve Kitchens. It's not intentional. He's just trying to get a hold of him. But boy, he really grabs hold and keeps a hold of that face mask, turns it all the way around.
Well, you could argue that it's a good thing he got it because Ben would have been gone and he saved a touchdown. You don't want him to do it, but you don't want him to score either.
So Ben Drinkwalter has been very effective here in the second half. As the Grizzlies now move well into Mountaineer territory at the 38-yard line. Drew Miller back to pass, has time, breaks down though, and he's going to be sacked for the first time today by Ryan Watson.
Well, Watson is strong. They just got a great group up front, very athletic, and they've been, Drew's been lucky that he hasn't had more sacks against him because they are so athletic up front. Watch him twist and work his way away from Skinner and then just kind of bulldogs him down.
Yeah, Drew there, that really was probably one of those coverage sacks because Drew had to hang on to the ball for a while. So it brings up 2nd down and 16. Miller hands it off to Drinkwalter. Again, a big crease. And again, good yardage down to the 35-yard line. And you can see Ben is starting to feel it.
Yeah, that was a great play on 2nd down and 15. You'd think they'd throw the ball, and they just kind of nip away at it with a little draw and follows the big guys up front. It has worked effectively at the draw all day.
He gets good yards, and so that makes it a little more manageable now on 3rd down. It becomes a 3rd down and 7, 4:46 and counting left in the 3rd quarter. Ben Drinkwalter, 31 yards already on this drive. Drew back to throw. Tries to swing it out, but it gets knocked down by number 40, Jimmy Freeman.
Well, we called his name a lot in the first half. A great athlete, defensive end, kind of drives over the top, gets his hand up.
And then they get a hit on Drew Miller, who wanted a call for a late hit. It's not going to happen, so now that's 4th down. And it looks like they might actually bring in Chris Snyder to attempt the field goal here.
52 yards if he makes it.
To try to answer the Mountaineers. But he's going to punt it, actually. It's going to go inside the 10. Well, real close to the 10. Down to about the 12. Nifty little play. Didn't quite work as well as they would hope, but still down to 12-yard line, 33-yard punt. So not a bad idea trying to back up the Mountaineers. But the Grizz offense, again, able to move the ball a little bit, got a couple plays, but just unable to really take advantage and get points. They got to be getting a little bit frustrated.
A little bit, but again, they've got their experience. Both teams are. They know what's on the line. Anybody's game. I like that call, Grayson. Set up on a field goal, punt it. That's a playoff type call, a real good call.
Well, the crowd getting very, very loud again. Burchett back to throw. Looking for his man. Fires out to the sideline. Going for Wilcox. Throws incomplete. Good coverage by Trey Young.
There was a host of Grizzlies in the area, so he kind of forced the ball and overthrew it incomplete, basically.
Yeah, really not a whole lot there. Good job to throw it in an area of the field where it would not be intercepted. It's the crowd up on their feet, very loud. 4:18 left in the 3rd quarter. Grizzlies up 6-3. This time they pitch it out to Beard, who gets kicked inside. Taken down for a loss of 3 on the play. Some of the Grizzlies wanted a little bit of a holding call there. They didn't get it.
This is their run formation. Montana could tell it was coming sweep, They brought a lot of people up to cancel out the blocks and really nowhere to run.
Andy Pedic got the penetration, forced him back to the inside. Corey Murtis, he's had a great day. We've called his name quite a bit today. Corey Murtis cleans it up, brings up a big 3rd down and 12. If the Grizzlies can get the stop here, they would get some good field position. Beard only 7 yards this half. Oh, -7, pardon me. Not even 7. Burchett goes back, gets blitzed. Tony Brown can't bring him down. Burchett fires, has his man. Number 6, Sterling Hayward, makes the catch. The Grizzlies had him, but just let him loose.
Yeah, a little blitz that time, as you said. He came in clean. Nobody even blocked him. Brown must be really disappointed. He overran him, and then they pick up a big 1st down, as you mentioned.
So the Mountaineers get a big 1st down just to get out from their own end. They're at their own 24-yard line now. 3 wide receivers to the right of their screen, but play clock ticking down, so they take the timeout.
The Mountaineers wanted, the coaching staff were just screaming for a timeout. Something they didn't like.
Yeah, play clock was also down to 3, so the Mountaineers doing a good job calling the timeout. Grizzly defense has really been swarming. They've only allowed 1 big play, but the Mountaineers, they've allowed the Grizzlies to drive the ball, but they just don't allow points. And this is very scary for the Grizzlies and their fans, because this is how the Mountaineers have won their playoff games.
Yeah, both real talented teams, so Montana's defense have been playing well. One thing you don't want to do, Grayson, as a coach or even as a player right now when you've got the lead is make a mistake that results in losing the lead. And thus the punt, I think, earlier by Montana instead of the field goal, and playing the percentages. And great coaches do that. And there you see Joe Glenn, and he certainly is a great coach. And a nice honor that he received this week, a National Coach of the Year, Eddie Robinson Award, New York City. That is just an awesome award, and he is so humbled to have received that.
1st down and 10 from the 24-yard line for the Mountaineers after the timeout. 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Burchett, play action, looking for something, gets hit as he throws. Albee goes up, tries to climb the ladder to get it, covered by Calvin Coleman, goes incomplete. It's going to bring up 2nd down.
Now the Mountaineers going for a big play here on 1st down. The Grizzlies come with blitz, and DeCoit able to get in there and kind of harass him early, and his ball kind of floats. You can see it kind of spin there as it comes out.
Yeah, actually pretty fortunate that Calvin couldn't make a better break on the ball. Those are the types that get picked off from time to time. 2nd down and 10 now for the Mountaineers. They try to at least tie the Grizzlies down 6-3. Burchett, little play action again, looking to throw. Not a lot of pressure. That one incomplete. Again, Calvin Coleman in. Number 6, Sterling Hayward, upset. He wanted a call, but it looked like he slipped just before the ball got to him.
Little play action here to pretend like it's a counter underneath. Rolls a little bit, and again, the ball floats on him. It kind of just see it flow out of there. It's not a tight spiral, and it has a habit of just kind of fluttering on him today.
So that brings up 3rd down now, and all of a sudden the Mountaineers have become a passing team. They have come out here looking to throw, trying to get something to happen here. 3rd down and 10. Grizzlies show blitz. Burchett going to be taken down for the sack. C-Shade pitcher, a backup, comes in, gets the sack, and that's the biggest one of his life.
Well, what they do is they roll a little play action, and I think the coach, Bresky, or one of the defensive coaches said, look, go in and get the quarterback. Don't worry about the fake and just get him. And that's exactly what he did. He basically went for the quarterback.
So now the punter's got to kick it from his own 2-yard line, gets it off. Good-looking punt. TJ Oakers will have a chance for a return here. Not a whole lot of room, though. Flag down as the tackle is made at the 48-yard line. So we'll have to see what the call is, but at least right now the Grizzlies have good field position. which they've had a few times today, but they have not been able to take advantage.
It's in the area of holding, so you have a feeling it's going to go back another 10 yards, which would be a big break for the Mountaineers.
It is a hold, so that'll move the Grizzlies back. They still should have pretty good field position, and now's the time in the game they got to start taking advantage as the call comes down. And so the Grizzlies with a 6-3 lead, you got to feel, if you're a Grizz fan, that with the way your defense is playing, if you can just take advantage maybe just once, that might be enough.
Well, it's a compliment to the Mountaineers defense. They are a good club. It shows you why they got here, and both teams are playing excellent defense.
3 wide receivers now for the Grizzlies. They hand it off. Johansi Humphrey back in the game. Nothing. Loss of 1 on the play. Absolutely nothing there as number 44, John Menino, plugs it up. And their defensive front, particularly in the middle, has played well for the Mountaineers.
Josh Jeffries on that play, we talked about him at the top of the show. He actually helped on the tackle as well. He's a real good-looking defensive end. Almost a little bit similar to Andy Pedic, not quite as long and lean as Andy, but certainly extremely strong, well-built.
2nd down and 10 for the Grizzlies. Mountaineers showing blitz. They back off. Miller is going to swing it out to Ben Drinkwalter. There's a flag down on the play, and I think this is going to be pass interference on the defense. It wasn't where the ball was thrown. It looks like Tanner Hancock was held up.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Corey Hall, their top defender, held up one of the Montana receivers, so this will be a big play for the Grizzly offense.
You see they rule it as holding. So we try to take another look, see if you can find it. There you see it right there in the middle of your screen.
With a penalty, automatic first down.
Hall looked like maybe just getting a little bit nervous because Drew had some time back there.
Well, after 5 yards, you can't have that contact, and they sort of bumped into each other, but I suppose the official has to make the call. It's a big break for the Grizzlies.
1:27 left in the 3rd quarter, 1st and 10. Grizz at the 49-yard line. Miller hands it off to Humphrey. Gets a little bit of a crease. Not a whole lot more, about 4 yards, which today is a pretty good run against either defense.
Well, Coach Cockiel is your offensive coordinator, and he's for Montana. He's being pretty conservative, and again, not a bad idea. This is inside trap, little read and react to the defense, get what you can. So they're playing conservative, but remember, they've got the lead, too.
So that brings up 2nd down and 6. Time running out here in the 3rd quarter, down to just 50 seconds. Miller, back to throw, has all kinds of time, but that one gets picked off. Great play made by Remy Awolowo. As he just steps in, he was going for TJ Oakers, but telegraphed that one a little bit.
Remy did a great job. Drew drops back and he kind of forces it in. He doesn't see him waiting, and then he breaks on the ball, picks it off. Excellent interception.
So once again, the Grizzly defense will be called upon to stop the Mountaineers, as the offense for the Grizzlies starting to get frustrated now, making mistakes. 1st down and 10. Burchett drops back, looking to throw, gets tipped up in the air. Damon Parker tried to make a dash for it, but it falls incomplete. A lot of balls being tipped here in the 2nd half.
Yeah, trying to see if we can see who tipped it, if it was Andy or not. I think it was out there at defensive end, but great play by him to knock the ball down. Here's a good look at it. That's 2 for him today.
And if you do that enough, it's going to fall your way. It's going to fall into one of your teammates' arms. 2nd down and 10, 4 wide receivers for Appalachian State. Back to throw is Burchett. Nothing there. Rolls out. Tries to fire for Wilcox. He can't bring it in. Tried to catch it with his chest, and that's a bad idea.
Well, the coaches are over there talking to Wilcox after the bobbled pass because this was right in his hands. Joe does a nice job here. He's patient, rolls out. He sees one of his favorite targets, and it just bounces up out of his knee.
Yeah, actually hit him right in the hands, but he got his knee in the way there. That's 4 incompletions in a row for Burchett. Both defenses have really taken control of this game. Burchett back to throw. Has time. Going over the middle. Finds his man. And this is going to be interesting where they're going to mark it. They're going to give him forward progress, and that's going to give him the first down. Rashad Slade.
Well, the line judge. The line judge spots it. The field judge has the ball. He wants to give him the mark, but the line judge is saying that he's bringing it back. I think it's going to be short where the line judge placed it.
Absolutely.
And
where he caught the ball was a first down.
The Mountaineer coaches really were coaching there, trying to get a call there by the officials. They want this first down. You can see they're disgusted on the sideline down in the bottom of your screen there.
Because this is going to be short by a yard.
Watch those coaches. They will not appreciate this.
Yeah, that's short by a good yard. So that brings up 4th down.
You know, he caught it. He definitely was beyond the first down, but then he did fight and come back and work his way. The coaches are saying, look, the defense held him up and pushed him back.
Yeah, and you got to credit the defense there for hitting him hard, but not knocking him straight down, or he probably would have gotten it. They knocked him backwards, able to take him down, and that could end up really being a huge play here.
Well, in the NFL, you might get another look at it and have a question, but in college, you don't.
So just 8 seconds left here in the third quarter. And Nathan McKinney into punt at his own 26-yard line. TJ Oakers back to receive, but they let the clock run out. So they'll change ends, and we will be back. Fourth quarter, who's headed to Chattanooga? Grizzlies up 6-3. Welcome back. Start of the fourth quarter. McKinney back to punt for the Mountaineers. Grizzlies come after it. Don't get to it, though. TJ Oakers makes the catch. Looks for some room. Does a good job without much blocking there to take it past the 20 to the 23. 44-yard punt. So the Grizzlies will take over. They had 26 total yards in the third quarter, all of it on the ground. Drew Miller is 0 for 4 in the third quarter.
Well, I think both defenses keeping both quarterbacks kind of at bay. You know, each quarterback is very scary because they're excellent at what they do, but the defenses are good enough to keep both these guys kind of, on their heels a little bit.
Well, and unfortunately for the Grizzlies, when Drew is quiet, so is Jimmy Ferris, and they need to get Jimmy going again. They hand it off to Johansi Humphrey, looking for room. None there. And the fans are starting to get impatient. They know that their offense is better than this, but they're not quite giving Appalachian State probably the full credit they deserve defensively. They played very well, and they've executed their game plan. And we have not heard of Jimmy Ferris here for a little while, and that is a huge factor for the Grizzlies. I don't remember them having a catch really since the first quarter.
And I don't see a weakness on the defensive side of the ball. Player for player, there's just nobody weak on that side.
2nd down and 8 for the Grizz. Miller hands it off to Yo again, and Yo gets stuffed. Hit there by Joe Best as the fans are really booing now. They're not happy with the play calling. They want to see their team put it in the air, but perhaps working on the clock a bit.
It is pretty conservative here on 2nd and long, but as you mentioned, something's coming. I know Coach Cockhill is not just going to run the ball in the middle of the field. I mean, something sooner or later, something's going to pop as far as a new type of play we haven't seen today.
All right, so now 4 wide receivers on 3rd down and 8 for the Grizzlies. Drew drops back, plenty of time, fires for Jimmy Ferris. He gets away from his defender, makes a big play out to the 46-yard line. And when Jimmy has the ball, good things tend to happen for the Grizzlies, and that's a big first down.
He is a wonderful receiver, Drew, and him connect on so many plays, and he's just crossing underneath. And then Jim does the rest here with a great move.
Good job by Drew to make sure that he leads Ferris, allows him to run away from Joe Best, who really had a beat on that play. So that gives him the first down now at the 46-yard line. Miller hands it off to Yo. Yo gets tripped up after about a yard. Joe Best in on the play.
Yeah,
and again, the fans don't like it.
Oh, it's a good call on first down. I mean, they're running the clock and they're playing it smart. They've got the lead. That's what I said earlier. You don't cause your team a play to make them lose. Best recognizes the pull there and comes up and fills excellent from his linebacker spot.
Does a good job. Yo, unable to keep his balance there. Would have had a few yards. So on second down, 4 wide receivers now in for the Grizzlies. Miller back to throw. Has time. It's breaking down. Scrambling a little bit. Now fires over the middle for Jimmy Ferris. Great play made by Corey Hall to break it up.
Well, Corey's their great defender. We've talked about him a little bit. Drew, as you mentioned, scrambling, but give this coverage to the defense. Basically, everybody's covered, and Drew just kind of tries to bide some time and make it work.
Well, if he leads them a little bit, he's got them, but just scrambling around. Good job to get it off, not get sacked. Drew now is 16 of 28, but the great majority of those, in fact, all but one, taking place in the first half. Third down and 9. Drew back to throw. Has time again. Firing over the middle. Tanner Hancock makes the catch for the first down at the 32-yard line.
Well, you start to wonder if Drew's okay and his arm's okay, but what a throw on this one. Drops back straight. He is a gutty performer. Comes underneath. He's got a scramble and then delivers a strike. Watch this ball. Perfect spiral. Great catch.
You're absolutely right, though. Drew, last week was the first time he was able to play a full game in a while, so you wonder if his arm strength is completely there. Well, showed it on that throw. Nice tight spiral. And the Grizzlies continue to move the ball now, and the clock continues to run. Well, it stopped now because a timeout has been taken by the Mountaineers. Perhaps a good task for them as they take a timeout to try to slow down the Grizzlies, who are up 6-3. Welcome back. First and 10 Grizzlies, fourth quarter. Probably not the score you expected. 6-3 Montana with just 12 minutes left in the game. Miller hands it off to Humphrey. He's got a crease up the middle. Works his way down to the 21-yard line. That's going to be good enough for another first down.
Again, pretty conservative, but very effective. Just a little counter, come back underneath. You can see the crack back by the tight end. Yo does the rest. Gets a very important first down for Montana.
When they seem to run draws or counters, it seems like they're giving their linemen enough time to get their blocks, and those have been the much more effective plays. First down and 10. 11:43 and counting left in the game. Grizzlies up 6-3. Appalachian State shows blitz out to Tanner Hancock. Gets a nice block from Atu Molden. Works his way out of bounds across the 15-yard line. Gain of 6.
I guess the most effective thing with the Mountaineers defense, Grayson, is how they close. This little swing pass, usually Montana gets 7-8 on this. Mountaineers close so quick and shut it down.
Yeah, they picked up the block they wanted to pick up. Atu Molden got his man. Tanner has taken that for touchdowns in the past, but Mountaineer defense certainly has been impressive today. Second down and 4 for the Grizzlies. 14-yard line. Miller hands it off to Humphrey. Gets a little room, works his way down to the 10-yard line. Good for another first down. And the Grizzlies, once again, they're in the red zone. They haven't been able to take advantage yet today. Touchdown here would be monumental to play their defensive play.
Yeah, and the sun's out. It's actually turned into a nice day all of a sudden. And Montana with a first and goal, it looks like. Maybe a half yard they could get a first down. First, about 10.5-yard line.
Yes, they can't get a first down without getting into the end zone, but yeah, it's even within the 1-yard line, so they need to pop it in here to try to take real command of this game. Mountaineers showing blitz. They swing it out to Hancock. Same play to the other side. Hancock works his way down, takes a good hit, works his way down to the 1-yard line.
Well, Jim Ferris made this possible. Again, they swung it to the other side, which is pretty smart because they've been going basically to the left. Watch Jim Ferris. Look at this block. Another great 2 by Atu inside. These guys are both blocking downfield.
Corey Hall puts a big hit. I can see why he's an All-American. I was not sure that he would have the cover ability going into this game. He's proven he's the real deal. He's a big corner, too. Drew Miller asking the crowd to be quiet. It's going to be hard for him here on 2nd and goal from the 1. They give it to Yo. Yo, outside he goes and into the end zone for the first touchdown of the day by either team, and it comes inside the 11-minute mark of the 4th quarter. Tell me you predicted that.
Yeah, both teams have worked so hard offensively, and finally all the work paid off. Montana with an excellent drive here. A lot of patience, a lot of conservatism, but hey, it's working for them. Use the clock, and then Yo does the rest. This was an awfully big drive.
Johansi Humphrey making one-man miss. He needed to beat one guy, Joe Best, able to break that tackle and get in. He's had a tough day, so that must have felt pretty good. Schneider now in for the point after. Ooh, they get close to blocking it, but it is up and good. And it is now a 10-point ball game, and more importantly, the Mountaineers have to score twice just to tie. And with 10:49, that's going to be a tough task. They'll get the ball back. Stay tuned. Welcome back in the 4th quarter. Chris Snyder kicking off the Grizzlies, a 13-3 lead. Jimmy Watkins takes the ball deep in his own territory, and the coverage team does their job for Grizz fans. They hold him for the first time. They really held him behind the 20-yard line. Watkins shows he's a dangerous return guy.
Yeah, we've been mentioning that all day, but the defense there on that play.
Scoring drive, 11 plays, 78 yards, took just over 4 minutes, capped off by the Johansi Humphrey 1-yard run. Now the defense, they need to make sure they don't allow any big plays here for the Grizzlies. The Mountaineers, they need to get something going through the air. Burchett in the shotgun, being blitzed, fires low. His intended receiver, Sterling Hayward. The pressure coming from Dave DeCoit.
Yeah, DeCoit came in real quick, and that was a zone blitz. They did not see it coming, and he surprised him, and that caused the pass to be incomplete.
Burchett has shown when he has time, he's pretty effective, but when you blitz him, he tends to throw a little bit low, a little bit high. He is just a sophomore, so part of that is just experience. He's back in the shotgun again, 4 wide receivers. Throws it out, little flare pass out to Albee. Gets good yards, gets a first down out across the 30-yard line to the 34.
Albee had a good collision, went out of bounds, and somebody went flying in. Looked like a team personnel went flying into the concrete wall. Hope that they're okay. Watch a little swing pass here. Good arm. We mentioned how strong of an arm Joe has. And a nice job after the reception to get all he can out of this play. Watch here. I don't know if you'll see it at the end, but one of the team personnel really gets hammered back.
Oh, yeah. Let's hope that he's okay. Big shot. 1st and 10. Burchett back. Hey, he gets nailed. He gets taken down. Matt Steinow on the sack. As the Grizzlies now are starting to get some pressure.
Well, Montana's defense starting to smell it a little bit. They can taste the victory, and they're going to try all they can. There is a flag down, so this one may be result in a first down. Good defensive surge, though, by the line.
Yeah, this is in the area of a possible... Well, the Grizzlies are actually cheering, so we'll have to see. But this is thrown in the secondary, which is a little scary for the Grizzlies and their fans.
Andy's pointing toward the offense, which indicates it may be against the Mountaineers.
Good ball, personal foul on the offense, half the distance to the goal, second down.
Wow, and we saw that last week. Richmond did the same thing. They were down and quite honestly made a stupid play by committing a personal foul. The Mountaineers do the same thing. You know, they've had a hard enough time moving the ball themselves. This makes it pretty tough. Second down and 30.
And they made a nice play to get the first down out of the drive, and now it's back second and, I don't know, 30 or so.
Second down and Ronan. Burchett back to throw. Fires, just a little screen pass out to Beard. Beard still on his feet. Takes a big hit by Trey Young, and he's shaken up.
I think he got the wind knocked out of him. What a play that he made, though, on this screen. You know, it's the first screen they've run. I hope that he's okay. Watch the lineman get out here and get downfield on this screen. And then he does a nice job to get up himself and pick up, I think, about 20 yards on that play.
Yeah, he gets 20.
Breaks a great tackle, hand on the ground, keeps running. Yeah, that had to be the wind. You get your wind out, and that's going to hurt.
Trey Young gave him a serious shot. And he does. He almost gets back to the original line of scrimmage, so now it's third down and 11. The crowd getting loud. Burchett in the shotgun. 3 wide receiver set. Drops back, looking to throw. Has time. Goes over the middle. Finds his man. Nice looking throw because there is good coverage, but Sterling Hayward makes the catch for a first down.
He looked like a senior quarterback on that, not a sophomore. Excellent job. Set up. Nobody's covered. Now watch him step up. Show some patience here. Actually steps up about 3 times and then delivers a strike.
Damon Parker on the play at great coverage, but if the ball is thrown where it needs to be, sometimes there's nothing you can do. Still 4 wide receivers, 9:22 and counting left in the game. Burchett back to throw, going deep. Troy Albee hit his hands and he dropped it. He had Damon Parker beat.
Now Burchett showed excellent arm strength again, and he had him, as you mentioned. This was a touchdown, certainly a big play, if not a touchdown. He has got a gun for an arm.
Oh, it's an absolutely, actually, Damon Parker's coverage not that bad, but that was just a perfectly thrown ball. Albee has to catch it. .15 left in the ball game. Mountaineers down 10. Faced with the second down and 10. Grizzlies blitz. Burchett, plenty of time. Fires out to the side. Hits his man Slade. Does a good job getting out of bounds and picking up the first down.
A nice throw again. This is all the way across the field. While it's not a really deep ball, it's a long ways. This ball is 30 to 40 yards thrown on a string, by the way. That is a great throw.
Rashad Slade with the completion down to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, the clock is going to become a factor. They're moving it. I don't know why. It looked to me like he got out of bounds, but it is running.
Yeah, it is running. 8:45 left. It looked like he was out of bounds.
The coach is upset. I don't understand why the clock's running, but it is.
Burchett back to throw. Plenty of time. Going deep again to Albee. And this time Albee has it and he takes it in for the touchdown. Kyle Scholl unable to stay with him. And now it is a whole new ball game. 13-9 with the extra point still to come.
Yeah, this is the same play they did just a minute ago. Their offensive coordinator is smart enough to go back to it because Joe's got an excellent arm, airs it out, it flutters a little bit, but it's still either going to get caught or it's going to go incomplete. He beats the defense.
And that's a mismatch. Kyle Scholl, a safety, out on their top receiver. So Wright comes in for the point after. It's up and good. And so the Mountaineers come back and they answer, cutting the lead to 13-10. The Grizzlies will get the ball back. They'll try to run out the clock, but still a lot of time left. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Fourth quarter, we still got a very close game. 13-10 as Appalachian State just scored. 8:28 left in the game. Wright's kick taken by Tanner Hancock at the 5, looking for a crease, has some room, makes his way out to the 30-yard line. Return of 25, and the Grizzlies now, they need to accomplish two things if they can. They've got to try to run down this clock. Some points wouldn't hurt.
Exactly right. As you watch Tanner on the replay here, he does a nice job to get upfield and give Montana the ball at about the 30-yard line. But this is what it's all about, Grayson. Anybody's game. Defense has kept you in. Offense can win it for you. This is a great series right here.
Big series for the Grizzlies. 1st and 10 at their 30. Drew Miller hands it to Johansi Humphrey. Humphrey, a gain of 1, and that's it as the Mountaineers have stacked up now against the run. The Mountaineers, this is a defense that is built to stop the run, so this is going to be a difficult task to run the clock out and yet still pick up enough first downs. The Grizzlies more than likely will have to go to the air at some point.
Yeah, 2nd and long now. Really have a choice of run or throw here, but they've been running the ball a lot on 2nd and long.
Miller back to throw. Fires for Jimmy Ferris. Unable to make the catch at midfield.
Drew took a big hit. Big hit, Grayson.
Drew is down. He took his first big hit of the day.
Just as he lets go of it, and he really gets pounded. I think it's more how he hit the ground after he got hit than the hit itself. It's like he had a concussion earlier, so he may be done here for the day anyway.
Well, the crowd is cheering because John Edwards is up and warming up. He is a crowd favorite because he is also an effective quarterback who's had to play a lot this year. But right now the concern goes to Drew Miller. They are holding his head. Just certainly a bad sign. The two things that certainly Drew Miller cannot afford is anything to his head or his shoulder. He has suffered multiple shoulder injuries and a concussion this year. It looks like he's going to get up, which is a good sign.
He's got to come out for at least one play. It is encouraging to see him run off because I think he really took a shot when his body hit the ground.
Well, the good news here on 3rd and 10, John Edwards comes into the game. He has played before. This is nothing new to John. In fact, he's even played in the playoffs against Eastern Illinois. He was very effective in the second half, and he has very good mobility. So much more of a threat to possibly run for a first down than Drew Miller is. So 3rd down and 10, 4 wide receivers. Edwards, he's going to go on the draw, and he picks up the first down, and that's what John Edwards brings to the table.
He is a great one. You mentioned it all there as you kind of came to the field. But what a big play for Montana. It's 3rd and 10. That was just an excellent play by John here as he tucks the ball and runs. Follows Johansi. Johansi gets the block for him.
That is so big, and the fans love it. John Edwards, anytime you've got a backup quarterback who's come in and effective, and is such a workhorse like John Edwards, he becomes a fan favorite, and they love him here. So 1st down and 10. Edwards hands it off to Ben Drinkwalter. Drinkwalter's got some room. He's chugging his way. He gets 7 yards on the play, and that keeps the clock moving at 6:53. And keep in mind, the Mountaineers only have 1 timeout left.
Little delay. Josh Jeffries does such a good job getting upfield. Ben reads that and actually runs where he was lined up, where the hole is created.
And Ben Drinkwalter, we talk about Edwards, an effective backup quarterback. Ben Drinkwalter has been the effective backup running back today. 2nd down and 4 for the Grizzlies. Edwards to throw, fires out to Tanner Hancock, looking for a block and some room. He's not going to get it. Corey Hall trying to make the tackle. The crowd wants a flag on a little something extra. It's not going to come.
Well,
Corey Hall made a great play.
No, Corey's a great competitor, and a little swing pass here. Earlier in the season, John had some trouble completing that, but he does a nice job there. Corey didn't throw him to the ground. That's why he didn't get a flag here.
Tanner Hancock doing a good job of staying in bounds to keep that clock moving. Unable to gain any yards, but doing the smart thing. And this is a huge play now. 3rd down and 4 with 5:42 and counting left in the game. Edwards, little play action fake, looking to throw, game pressured, dumps it off as he's going down, so it's going to be incomplete, which is a big play.
I think they're going to mark it where he fell. It looks to me like the referee is going to say he was down before he threw the ball, so this will be, anyway, they're going to need to punt it.
They're calling him down. He was going to have to punt either way, so in a way this is almost better because the fact that he goes down instead of incomplete keeps the clock moving.
Let's see here. We'll see. Yeah, he is down. That's a good call.
Now, and if John gets back to the sidelines and thinks about it a little bit, he's going to find out that that actually is good for him. Reedy gets it off, but this is not the punt they needed. But that's the bounce they needed. He shanked it a little bit, but it goes out of bounds at the 18-yard line. 32-yard punt. Reedy was hoping for a little better, but hey, the bounce is right now going the Grizzlies' way, but this is danger time. Mountaineers down by just 3 with less than 5 minutes left in the game.
And remember, they drove the length last time to score to put it where it is, so in a way, momentum is on their side offensively. And they are, this is again, it's, we talked about the last series being big. Here's another one. I mean, for both teams, this is the game winner.
Oh, the Grizzlies have pulled upon their defense all year, and they've come up big. They need them to come big now. Burchett fires, out, finds his man, Albee. Albee is going to be close to a first down. He's about 2 yards short, gets out of bounds, though, and that stops the clock.
There's a lot of time here on this drive, so that they're going to be throwing the ball, and he does a nice job to get out of bounds and get it stopped.
Now for both teams, defensively and offensively, this could be the drive to Chattanooga. Whoever can come up big here, it could be headed to Chattanooga to play for the national championship. Burchett back to throw, gets blitzed. Dave DeCoit tips it, and it falls incomplete. It's going to bring up 3rd down now.
Another zone blitz, and again, I think it surprised Burchett that time as he sits ready to throw, and here comes DeCoit unblocked.
So a huge play for both teams. 3rd down and 2, 4:39 left in the game. Grizzlies hanging on to a 3-point lead. Burchett, 19 of 37, 257 yards. He's had a great day. He drops back now, fires out to the side. He got blitzed again, throws incomplete, and the Grizzly defense comes up big.
I think they'll go for it here, Grayson. I don't think, no, they're going to bring their punt team out. Surprised me a little bit. I thought they might have went. But, it's the second zone blitz that came in. He's all alone here. He's got to get rid of it. It's the second time he's had to throw, and every time, as you mentioned, he's making a mistake on the throw. But you've got to pick up that zone blitz.
The blitz continues to bother Burchett. Kick gets off. TJ Oakers has it at his 40. Takes it up the field out to about the 48-yard line where the Grizzlies are going to have great field position. Still a lot of time left. Maybe that's why the Mountaineers decided to punt it away. Their defense has played well, but the Grizzly defense just made a monster stop. 3 and out, and with 4:27 left, they give the ball back to their offense. Now they need to see if they can run out the clock. And take a look right there. You see that Drew Miller is fine. He's coming back into the ball game. John Edwards certainly played well, unable to get points, but played well for the Grizzly offense. Drew hands it off to Johansi Humphrey, looking for yards. Gets 2.
Remember, the Mountaineers only have one timeout left, so the clock is going to be a factor as Montana will no doubt run.
The clock is going to be a big factor, as is field position right now. The Grizzlies, certainly, they want to move it down the field and just run out the clock and not have to rely on their defense one more time. But if for some reason that comes up, right now, the Grizzlies have a shot of pinning the Mountaineers deep. 2nd down and 8 now for the Grizzlies. Miller on the delay, gives it to Humphrey. Few more yards here, pushes forward for 4, still short of the first down by about 5 yards. Only to get able to get 3 there.
You can see him lead through this time. Good drive blocks up front. He gets a few yards out of it.
So a big play for both teams. Drew Miller in the Grizzly offense, hoping to keep this drive alive and keep working on that clock. 3:10 left in the game. 3rd down and 5. Miller in the shotgun. Takes it, gives it to Johansi Humphrey on a delay. Looked like it was there for a second, but it got closed down. Gain of only 1. He should have gone outside with this ball.
Yeah, they take a timeout here to stop the clock and force Montana to punt. They'll get the ball back with about 2:40. And as you mentioned, just come underneath, and not a lot there. Pretty conservative, as you mentioned, but high percentage as far as no turnover. Well, basically, Grayson, you're saying, okay, we're going to punt it, and we're going to, our defense is going to win the game. And if you're the Mountaineers, you're saying, okay, we're going to take it, our offense is going to win it. So it'll be a great ending to what's been a great game.
Well, so far the Mountaineer strategy worked of going ahead and punting the ball away with over 4 minutes left. The Grizzlies worked on the clock a little bit.
Let's see if they go for a block. They have tried one block, the Mountaineers, this game, and they were nearly successful. Let's see if they go with block or a return.
Well, they need Mike Reedy to come up with a great punt here, and they don't. They're going to go for the return. Reedy, it's a pretty good one. Bounces. Not as good as he would have liked, but still inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line. And so this is it. The Grizzlies, the difference in their season this year as opposed to the last few years has been their defense. Well, if they're going to have a chance to play for the national championship, it's going to have to be their defense that gets them there.
Both coaches promised that they would battle to the bitter end, and that is exactly what we are seeing.
Well, the Mountaineers with no timeouts, 2:44 left on the clock. They've done it before. They'll try to do it again. Burchett drops back, getting pressured, rolls out, hits his man, inbounds. That's number 5, Rashad Slade, but he hits him inbounds. He falls down, so the clock is going to roll once the chains get set.
And they'll be ready, I'm sure, in a hurry-up offense. But still, plenty of time.
2:30 left in the game. 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. Burchett back to throw, getting blitzed again. And this time, Justin Brandon, he can't bring him down. Andy Pita can't bring him down. He fires to Rashad Slade, incomplete. Does a great job, though, to get it off and stop the clock, because if he gets sacked there, they're really scrambling.
Yeah, another zone blitz. This time the Mountaineers pick it up. They did answer at that time, and Joe does a good job to elude actually 2 different sacks.
Zishay Pitcher had the first chance to get him, unable to bring him down, as Burchett has shown he's very solid on his feet.
Well, we talked about Montana with something trick here. Let's see if the Mountaineers come up with their own variety.
2:14 left in the game. 2nd down and 10. Grizzlies blitz. Burchett, plenty of time. He's going to run with it. And he goes down a few yards short of the first down. And he goes down inbounds. So that keeps the clock rolling. He didn't get the first, so it won't even stop for the chains. And we're inside 2 minutes now. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2. Big play for both teams. Minute 45 left in the game. Burchett on the option out to Beard. Beard gets out of bounds. And he's real close. It looks to like the first down.
Looks like he got it, Grayson, but it is going to be close. But better than that for him. He was smart enough to get out of bounds.
Yeah, he got the first down. So he got out of bounds. A minute 40 now left in the game, and the Mountaineers moving. They're at their own 41-yard line.
Well, they need about 30 more yards for a field goal to put it into overtime.
The Grizzlies need their crowd, and they are getting loud right now. 4 wide receivers for the Mountaineers. Grizzlies show blitz. Here they come. It goes deep over the middle. Vince Huntsberger, the only guy close, unable to come up with it. Burchett takes a big hit.
DeCoit again on another blitz from the other side. Joe's going to have dreams about Mr. DeCoit tonight when he goes to sleep, because here he comes again, unblocked. He must love this. And Joe held on to that just as long as he could before he threw it.
2nd down and 10 now for the Mountaineers. A minute 36 left in the game. Plenty of time. They bring the blitz again. Burchett back to throw, has time, and has his man Hayward. He's trying to find his way. He gets the first down, but unable to get out of bounds. So that's going to keep the clock rolling.
Well, it should stop.
But it'll stop for the change.
Yeah, if it's a first down. And it's interesting, the line judge wound the clock as they came out and then finally stopped it when it was realized it was a first down.
Chains are now set, clock rolling, 1:24 left in the game. Mountaineers getting very close to field goal range. Burchett back to throw, blitz coming, getting pressured, going deep. Damon Parker, the closest one to it, almost had a shot to pick it off. Burchett gets hit as he throws. Incomplete, 1:11 left in the game.
Pretty good call, I think, there, Grayson. You've got plenty of time. Take one big shot at the end zone. Now, I think what you'd want to do if you're the offensive coordinator, work underneath a little, take the 10, 15-yard stuff. You do have a timeout left. No, they're out of timeouts. I thought they had one left. But you got to get out of bounds and get a field goal. They've got about 20 yards to go, and they've got a reasonable shot at it.
No timeouts for the Mountaineers. 1:11 left in the game. 2nd down and 10. Burchett drops back. Grizzlies only send 3. That one almost picked off by Kyle Scholl. It hit him right in the face.
Well, we talked about the tight end Wilcox being a big factor. At that time, he stayed in and helped block, and they're going pretty deep here on these throws.
So the Grizzly defense now, they are 2 stops away from Chattanooga.
The clock's running, and we've got a player here on the sideline taking the play in. They're going to have to hustle with only 15 seconds on the play clock.
And the play clock is down to 10, and they do not have any timeouts. 7, 6, 5. Burchett now realizes 3, 2, 1. Gets it off. Little option play. Burchett gets nailed. And that's going to keep the clock moving. 57 seconds. And it's also going to bring up 4th down and 8. And I don't understand why you would run that.
I don't either. The only way you would is if you pitched it and he got out of bounds to stop the clock. But now your clock's running.
Here it is. 4th down and 7. Last chance for the Mountaineers. Burchett fires. He has his man. He needs some yards. He has the first down. He's got the whole field down to the 20, the 10. Taken down at the 6-yard line. That's going to stop the clock with 25 seconds left, and they are at least in field goal range.
What a play. What a gutty play, actually. You know, it looks a little bit like overtime right now, Grayson, with 25 seconds, and there's 18,000 people here, almost silent, other than the folks from the Mountaineers.
Catch made by Hayward, and he did a great job after the catch to get out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
Montana's going to take a timeout, Grayson, and probably a good idea to get regrouped a little bit.
Yeah, the crowd can't believe what just happened. The Grizzlies were one play away from Chattanooga and a chance to play for the national championship. But the Mountaineers, this is how they won games in the playoffs. Every game they've won, this is how they've done it. Their defense has kept them in it, and then their offense has been able to come up just a couple of big plays, and that was the biggest so far of the game.
Well, if you're Montana, Grayson, you basically want to, and it's a good call to get a timeout. Say, look, guys, settle down. Try to make them, come out of here with a field goal as opposed to touchdown, because a touchdown beats you. A field goal puts you into overtime.
Tony Albee, actually, the man on that last play, and he now has 10 catches, 182 yards, and a touchdown. He's really been the only guy, along with Burchett, been able to light it up today.
Well, look for the
And the Grizzlies now, they've got to just try to hold them here to a field goal.
Well, look for a rollout here, couple little options. I don't think they're going to run up the middle. It wouldn't probably be a good move because, so I think they're going to throw the ball, try to stop the clock, take a shot at the end zone, either score and win or incomplete and kick.
Burchett has thrown for 316 yards. First and goal from the 8, 25 seconds left. Burchett back to throw. Fires for the end zone, almost picked off by Matt Steinow. Wow, how close can the Grizzlies come to putting this game away?
Here's the replay. Again, a good call. He's going to throw it, but boy, as you mentioned, almost a game winner.
Oh, Matt Steinow. Oh. If you're a Grizz fan, you hope that they can stop him, because Steinow is going to be thinking about that play his whole life. 12th play of the drive, 20 seconds left. Burchett back to throw, fires out to Albee, who gets taken down by Tony Brown. That's going to keep the clock rolling.
They're going to have
10,
to spike the ball
9,
here and stop
They
it.
have to spike the ball. They have no timeouts, and they're going to have to go for the field goal. 4, 3, 2... And they spike it just in time. That play almost cost them a chance at the field goal.
Well, Joe was real cool on that, Grayson. They've practiced this several times. I mean, he knew it was going to be the spike play, and he wasn't too worried about running it out. Now it comes down to overtime, and it looks like anybody's option on that.
Well, before that happens, the Montana Grizzlies are going to try to ice Mark Wright, who comes in for the biggest field goal attempt of his life. If he misses, the Grizzlies play for the national championship. If he makes it, the Mountaineers stay alive, and we go to overtime.
Well, he's right-footed, and he's on the right hash for him. It's the right side of the field, so it kind of works to his hook. If he has any, it'll help him in that regard. But I have a feeling overtime might be in store.
Well, the Mountaineers, how many lives do they have? 4th down and 7. They come up with a monster play, taking it inside the 10. Then they throw it out. Matt Steinow almost picks it off. They throw a little flare pass. It gets taken down. The clock rolls all the way down to 2 before they can spike it. And they still have a chance to force overtime. The crowd fired up. This is just a chip shot. Wright has done this probably thousands and thousands of times before. He's got to come up one more time for the Mountaineers. If not, the Grizzlies will win. And he puts it through, puts it right down the pipe. And so no time left on the clock. We are going to overtime, and the Grizzlies and the Mountaineers are tied at 13. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have overtime. Stay tuned.
finalists here. Drew Brees, winner of the Maxwell Award, which goes to the best all-around player. LaDainian Tomlinson, the 2,000-yard rusher, winner of the Doak Walker Running Back Award. Chris Winkie has cleaned up on a pair of quarterback awards. And Josh Heupel, winner of the Walter Camp Award. 4 seniors, 4 conference championship teams. Only one quarterback, has won this in the last 5. That is almost
7-yard field goal, tied it up, and the coin toss, very important in overtime. You want to win it, and you want to go on defense.
Offense, defense, or which end of the field we're going to play on for the entire two series. You cannot defer. The loser then has the other option, and then if we go to the second, we will flip-flop. You're the visitor. Again, you know the coin. Call it while it's in the air. Let me know what he says.
Heads! Heads!
It's a tails. On the tail, you won. You want to go on defense. Which end of the field do you want to use? Which side? And there. Okay. You're going to go on defense. So you're down here.
To the referee explaining.
And to go on to defense. Appalachian State will start 1st and 10 on the 25.
Everybody gets a series, Grayson, at the 25. If there's an interception or fumble, that stops the series, and the other team will go on. First team to score not necessarily wins, because the other team would get a shot at it as well. If it continues after the third overtime period, then the teams have to go for 2. So we'll see how long this goes.
Yeah, both teams get a chance. This is not sudden death. It's not the first one to score. That's why I said you want to go on defense, because as long as you limit Appalachian State to a field goal, you have a shot to win on your possession. If you can score a touchdown, that's it. That ends it. So right now, the Grizzlies, their main priority, let's hold them at least to a field goal. If you get a turnover, you're in terrific shape. 1st and 10 for Appalachian State from the 25. Burchett hands it off to Watkins. Watkins doesn't find much, about 2 yards.
They lined up in their run formation, double tights, and kind of let him go out over the left side.
All right, powers his way at the very end there for 3 yards. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 7. And the Grizzly defense needs to come up huge. One more time here, 2nd down and 7. Again, they're in a run formation. Burchett on the option. He's going to take it himself. Gets 3 more. They've tried to run it here a couple times. They've had the Grizzly defense out on the field here for a little while, so perhaps sensing that they're getting a little bit tired. But now this is a huge play. Faced with a 3rd down and 4, the Grizzlies can stop them here, or you force them to try a field goal.
Probably a passing situation, but with a talented tailback and linemen as they have.
The crowd is fired up. 3rd down and 4. Beard in the backfield, 2 wide receivers. Burchett going for the end zone, gets tipped away at the last possible second by Vince Huntsberger, and the Mountaineers will go for the field goal.
Well, he was all alone as the receiver, and Joe saw it right at the end, and Montana able to close on the ball as it's in the air and tip it down.
Oh, last possible second. Vince Huntsberger comes up with it. And now this is not an automatic chip shot. They did not even get 1 first down. So Mark Wright now's got to come up with a somewhat challenging kick here. It is up, and it is good. Very, very solid. So the Mountaineers put 3 points on the board, but the Grizzlies will have a chance now with a touchdown to end this game and go play for the national championship.
Pretty conservative on their part, and not a lot of throws. The one in the end zone, he was wide open, but defense able to close and tip it down. See the coaching staff working overtime here. They're in overtime as well, trying to get their guys going.
So the Grizzlies now with Drew Miller at the helm will try to win this game. A touchdown will do it. A field goal keeps the game going. Anything less than that, and the Mountaineers are headed to Chattanooga. Miller hands it off to Ben Drinkwalter. Good room. Nice run. 6 yards on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 4.
It's like a chess match, isn't it? A little bit of each offensive coordinator. Another conservative call, but probably a very good one. A little draw play. It's been working well all game. Drew shows the ball and gives it to Ben. He picks up about 6 yards.
You can see Ben really hanging on to the ball. That is an absolute key. You cannot turn it over here or the game is over. Drew hands it off to Drinkwalter again. Gets taken down 2 yards short of the 1st down. Huge play for both teams. 3rd and 2.
See what they bring in here on 3rd and 2, whether you pass, roll out a little bit. You have a feeling Jimmy Ferris is coming in. He's the playmaker. Knowing them, they may want to get it in his hands.
They take out 2 tight ends and go with 4 wide receivers. Drinkwalter in the backfield all by himself. Miller out to Tanner Hancock. Going for he gets the 1st down. He had to make one guy miss. He was able to break the tackle of Daniel Taylor, and that is a 1st down for Montana.
With a little swing pass, Montana runs this a lot. It's almost like a run. The Mountaineers have been able to close on that play all day, but this time he gets enough for a 1st down. You know, the sun's pretty bright, and it's at an angle right now, Grayson. In that corner, the right corner of this north end zone, that may be a factor if you're on defense staring into that sun.
1st down and 10 for the Grizzlies. A touchdown will do it. Drew hands it off to Drinkwalter. Drinkwalter picking his way, fights forward to the 10-yard line, gain of 4.
We've seen some reverses in few games that Montana runs here. Ferris, again, has done those a few times. I wouldn't be surprised to see it. It's a pretty high percentage. It's a run, etc. But what's pretty important now, if you're kicking field goals, is the placement of the ball in the middle of the field.
2nd down and 5. Movement by John Skinner, and that's going to back the Grizzlies up.
The Mountaineers that time had a full blitz package coming, anticipating run, I would think.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. 5 yards, still 2nd down.
So that backs them up. So it makes it a 2nd down and 10 now. At the 15-yard line. They can get a 1st down if they get past the 4. 2nd and 11. A touchdown, and the Grizzlies are going to Chattanooga. Miller going for Ferris. And the Grizzlies are going to Chattanooga!
Well, we talked about Jim Ferris. Had a feeling it might work. It's one of those high percentages, either a touchdown or it's going to be dropped.
In the final game for the seniors at Washington Grizzly Stadium, the last time Jimmy Ferris will ever get to play on this field, he has caught the pass that will send them to the national championship, and the other senior, Drew Miller, is the one who threw it to him.
What a gutty performance by Drew. He gets hammered to the ground late in the 4th quarter. He comes back and he finishes up. That is an awesome effort.
Jimmy Ferris has meant so much to this team in the locker room and on the field, and he has made the play that will now send them to Chattanooga. Let's go down to Tom Morellis, who's with Joe Glenn.
Joe, what an incredible finish. Jimmy Ferris has done it all along. What a guy. Oh, my. Well, he's just as good a person he is a football player. Hey, Wayne. Here we go. And couldn't happen to a nicer guy. What a great guy.
Joe, in your first year, you've taken University of Montana back to the national championship.
This team did.
Must feel good.
Yeah, it feels great.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Joe. Your defense came for you when you needed it.
Lincoln Wasabi. All right. Thanks a lot.
Well, excited Joe Glenn, University of Montana, is headed to the national championship, so pack your bags. We're going to Chattanooga.
Absolutely right. The Grizzlies are going to Chattanooga. How about that red-headed kid? He is something else. He is the consummate playmaker, and he made the play of his career.
Yeah, and he's doing it all year long. What a great throw by Drew. He just put it up. He had a feeling that he'd come down with it right here. It's a great catch.
7 catches, 110 yards, and 1 touchdown. 1 touchdown that Jimmy Ferris will never forget. The one that'll send them to the national championship game where they will take on Georgia Southern. Did he get it? Yeah, he dunked it. I think he got over the crossbar. Jimmy showing his ups as well. He really is the guy that a lot of people think of when they think of the Montana Grizzlies this year. They think Jimmy Ferris. And he's going to hitch a ride with Monty now.
Monty's going to give him a ride around the stadium. He's a great kid, and he's real deserving of this, as the Montana Grizzlies, of this victory. You got to say a lot about the Mountaineers, Grayson. They have a lot of class. They fought to the bitter end. This could have been their win as well. But, one team's got to emerge, and, for Montana, they were able to put it together. It was a wonderful, wonderful game.
You're absolutely right. Appalachian State, they played a near-perfect game. They did exactly what they had to do to try to upset the Grizzlies here in Missoula, but it just wasn't enough, and that's the man who made it happen. Jimmy Ferris, just being mobbed by the crowd. Guys, don't hurt him. Make sure you keep him healthy. He's got one more.
Well, I saw him dancing in pregame warm-ups. He's quite a dancer. You'll have to see if you can do some steps with him, but he's thanking God, and that's kind of neat to see as well. He is a great individual, and what a nice honor for him.
He's one of the most well-spoken players on the entire team. He's a guy that the media just loves. I love talking to him, getting interviews, but he had a hard time this week talking about playing his final game, win or lose, at Washington Grizzly Stadium in front of these fans. And he's from Idaho, but he claims that he's a Montana boy. He's admitted he was probably going to cry a little bit before this game started. He's smiling now, but I think when he gets a chance to be all by himself sometime tonight, and he gets a chance to just think, he's going to be really happy about what a terrific play he was able to come up with to send his teammates to Chattanooga.
And those will be tears of joy, Grayson, if he does, because he's real deserving. And, Wayne Hogan, you saw him, the athletic director, give Joe Glenn a big hug. And this is a real class program, and I'm proud of them and happy that they're able to experience another trip to the big one. And Montana, Missoula will be a little emptier next week as everybody's going to take off and go to that game.
Do a little reflection, folks. If you're at home, think back to the Hofstra game. After the Hofstra game, a lot of people were starting to second guess Joe Glenn and his new coaching staff and the team. They lost at home. Boy, they've turned it around. They've been something else since then, winning every game that they've played in and showing a lot of character along the way.
You bet. And again, we want to thank our affiliates here in Montana, KXLF in Butte, Helena, KBZK in Bozeman, KRTV in Great Falls, KTVQ in Billings. Those stations are helping us bring this game to you. And the folks also got to watch this back with Comcast Sports Southeast. And so they're probably very proud of their team as well.
Yeah, Appalachian State. Hey, you know what? I'm sure they feel lousy right now. They wish they could have won this game, but the Mountaineers, that's a team that wasn't even supposed to be here. They were a 13th seed. They were supposed to be an afterthought. Troy State was supposed to beat them and move on to play us somewhere along the line. Mountaineers, big-time program, big-time team, and a terrific season. Congratulations to them on a season they should be exceedingly proud of. as you see the team singing the fight song, as the crowd has pretty much mobbed the field. Goalposts have not come down yet, which is good. Let's hope that the goalposts stay up. But the Montana Grizzlies, thanks to Jimmy Ferris and Drew Miller, they are headed to Chattanooga, and they will play one more game, and this will be the big one. They will take on the defending national champion, Georgia Southern Eagles, for a chance at the national championship. The fans are trying to get to the goalpost, but right now, cops aren't letting them.
Well, the security's on both ends, and a few students want to do that, but it doesn't look like they're going to.
Well, right now they're not real successful. Not going real well down there right now. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. What a game. Overtime. The Montana Grizzlies go on to win 19-18. They're headed to Chattanooga. Folks, we have had an absolute blast bringing all of these games to you throughout the regular season and in the playoffs. And without a doubt, they would not be possible if we did not have an absolutely terrific technical crew, director, cameraman, our statistician, John Mitchell, Dave Guffey, who has also helped us out with that job throughout the season. We have had an absolute blast. We hope that you've enjoyed it half as much as we have. It has been a dream season for the Montana Grizzlies, and it continues. For Bob Hermes, I'm Grayson Davis. Thanks for watching. See you in Chattanooga.